I honestly don't know what to say about tonight's game, other than the mad scientist tinkered, bro. The tinkering still in full effect. Oh, god damn it. 2 games below 500. That is where your Golden State Warriors stand. And very winnable game. I feel like I say that a lot. The Golden State Warriors lose. In case you're watching this and you did not get a chance to catch the game, it's tied. Phoenix Suns put up a game-winning shot. I think Dylan Brooks put it up. It's way off. But the one horrible miscalculation by Steve Kerr in the 5-man lineup he put out there to try and stop a Phoenix Suns game-winning shot was rebounding. The closing five for the Golden State Warriors in a possession that meant the entire game was DeAnthony Melton, good defender, 6'2". Draymond Green, one of the greatest defenders ever, 6'6". GP2, who earlier in the game was the team's sixth man. I wish I was making that up. He's 6'2". And then who are the other guys? Hold on. Moses Moody was in the game. 6'5". I like that decision. And who's the fifth dude? And then Jimmy Butler, who in that scenario was either your center or your power forward. So what happens? The Suns miss, but there's no rebounding presence. Suns get the rebound because GP2 is a hobbit. And with 0.4 seconds remaining, a shooting foul seals it. Because the player who made that shot at the very end, who was that hit that free throw at the very end? Who was that? Hold on one second. I'm sorry. My research is in shambles because the traditional box score I normally use for every one of these broadcasts just went poof tonight. The NBA just, with no announcement, got rid of it. It was Jordan Goodwin who missed the first free throw, made the second free throw, and you now have a final score of 99-98. Warriors dropped to 3-15. Let's talk about it. Audience will obviously come on the program. We'll play some sound. Beyond fascinated to hear what Steve Kerr had to say about this one. If you bet the under on the FanDuel OU for the total wins for the Golden State Warriors this season, congratulations. You're feeling good right now. Speaking of FanDuel, we're powered by FanDuel, and this is the Golden Days. Let's go. Welcome to the program. My name is Cyrus Saatsaz. I'm your host for the evening or afternoon or morning, depending on the time zone you're in watching this show. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at DogWild. Over on Twitter, my handle is at Surf Journalist. The program on both platforms at Golden Days Pod. Speaking of FanDuel, the official sponsor of our show, the Warriors and the Suns are right back at it Saturday. If these Warriors games, I want to start off by saying this. If these Warriors games are frustrating to you to watch, I'm with you. It's borderline torture because of all the substitutions, because of all the lesser players. To give you an idea of just how crazy this game was, and by the way, FanDuel does not currently have a spread for the Saturday rematch at Chase Center between the Warriors and the Suns, but what they do have are updated finals odds. And the Warriors, if you still feel great about them, have plus 3,300 odds to win the title. And the last time we took a look at wins and losses, it was at 45.5 in terms of betting the OU on the total wins and losses for the season. The Golden State Warriors, again, dropping to 13-15 on the year. And FanDuel Took the line away again. they do this so frequently. They must be scrambling when it comes to covering the Golden State Warriors. But regardless, again, you could catch all that action at FanDuel, the official sponsor, title sponsor of Golden Days, as we come to you live from the Golden Days studios in West Sonoma County, California, following the Warriors suffering just a brutal loss, 99-98, the final again. And to give you an idea of the mad scientist that Steve Kerr has fashioned himself as in the year 2025, we're a week away from Christmas, 2 weeks away from a new year. The Warriors tonight played everyone except for Seth Curry. Why? Why is he getting DNPs? I hope someone asked Steve Kerr. And Will Richard got a DNP. Why are either of those players getting DNPs? I have no effing clue, because the head coach of the Warriors is a madman. I'm not even saying that like facetiously. I'm not exaggerating. The dude is out of his damn mind. I really don't think he knows what he's doing. I feel like that's a safe thing to say. The head coach of the Golden State Warriors has no clue what he's doing. When he took over 12 years ago, this was a night and day situation. Rotations were established. All he had to do was come in and teach the star players, pass the ball quicker, move around faster. And apparently that was the magic secret that unlocked Stephen Curry and the team. 12 years later, there's zero ingenuity. There's zero innovation. You have night after night, not just Kerr going against himself. In case you missed the soundbite from a week or so ago, when Kerr was asked about DNPing Seth Curry, Steph's brother. Side note, Steph and Seth still have yet to see the court together. You'd think that would be one of the feel-good stories for your Golden State Warriors this year. Not to mention, when you look at the talent on this roster, Seth just simply should be playing. But he's not. And when Steve Kerr was asked about that DNP, remember his reasoning? Well, it just didn't work out. I would have been bringing him into the fourth quarter. I don't do that normally. We had already played 11 guys. And then we go to tonight. 12 guys comfortably played. I think he played all 12 by early in the second quarter. Jonathan Kuminga did get a run, a whole whopping 10 minutes. Woo! There was some fascinating rotational decisions. When Kuminga came into the game in the second quarter, he came in with Guy Santos, a player who just a week earlier, or two players, I'm sorry, that just a week earlier, Steve Kerr had said will not see the floor together because they play the same position. Like, I'm not being hyperbolic in saying this dude just might not even have a good grip on reality right now, because he says one thing and then just completely does the opposite. What this team needs is consistency. What this team needs is stability. And what this team maybe most of all needs is a semblance of the best players getting the biggest runs. And we still are not seeing that. The sixth man tonight was GP2. You know who led the team in minutes at the half? Trayce Jackson-Davis. And I don't hate that either. Although now, see the box, okay, it was not Trayce Jackson-Davis. Yeah, the box scores were funky tonight. It said Trayce Jackson-Davis had 19 minutes at the half, and now that went down. Okay, so something's going wrong. Like the NBA does not have the box score I normally rely on. Both the NBA and ESPN had listed Trayce Jackson-Davis with 19 first half minutes, Buddy Hield with 16 first half minutes, and now it has Trayce Jackson-Davis with 7 minutes total and Buddy Hield with 10 minutes total. So just ignore what I was about to get into, because the NBA was feeding all of us completely false stats. But regardless, who were your leading minute getters tonight? I'll touch on that real quick while we're at it. Jimmy Butler, who I believe personally was your player of the game. He was one of the very few players in this game who showed up, was the reason why the Warriors led at the end of the first half, finished this game tonight, 31 points, 11 of 17 shooting from the field. If you're not good at math, I'll simplify it for you in that 11 of 17 is exceptional. He hit a very late three-pointer, his only three-point attempt of the game that tied the game, I believe, in 96. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jimmy Butler was easily our player of the game tonight. I can't believe the stats thing. I was wondering what the hell was going on. And so the NBA is just something's off. I don't know if this was limited to the Warriors Suns game or if it was league wide, but anyway, so Jimmy Butler adding 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal. And he's your FanDuel player of the game. He also led the team in minutes tonight with 34. That makes sense. One other thing, the only real adjustment I saw tonight, which should give you hope if you love your Golden State Warriors, is during the non-Steph minutes. And I promise you we're going to talk about Stephen Curry in a second because he didn't look good tonight. I don't know what happened with the bloody nose. I don't know if that was like an allergy thing, if it was like a dry air thing. Steph started the game. Again, he had a bloody nose. He's playing with like a napkin up his nostrils to stop the bleeding. The whole thing was crazy. But he did not look good tonight. He looked his age is what he looked. And again, we'll get into that in just a second as I see some paid chats coming in. I'll address those in 1 minute. But I want to really quickly go through who played the most since I was on that theme. Jimmy Butler, 34 minutes. Stephen Curry, 33 minutes. Not a good 33 minutes. We'll talk about that in just a second. Draymond Green and Moses Moody both played 30 minutes. I didn't think Draymond had a good game at all. And what stuck out to me as I'm looking at this box score, it only confirms my suspicion in terms of turnovers. The Warriors tonight, by the way, had 20 turnovers. 20. And I'm looking at a box score that I'm not accustomed to. And I don't know if the 20 turnovers include the team ones. I don't think it does. The Warriors had 20 individual turnovers and 20 total. So no team turnovers that are not assigned to an individual player. But Draymond did not have a good game. Whether it was just mistakes defensively, 5 of the team's 20 turnovers were by Draymond Green. Dude was chucking threes because every team dares him to. And he was 1 of 6 from deep. Yeah, Dre did not have a good game tonight. 7 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 turnovers, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Moses Moody did not have a good game in his 30 minutes either. Not terrible in the turnover department, had just 1, but a lot of open looks that he just bricked. Late in the game, he had a chance, I believe, to tie the game or bring the Warriors within 1. I can't remember the exact circumstances, but wide open corner 3. No, and it was just off. It like hit the back of the rim. And when you're shooting it from the corner, usually what you want to be off on is the distance, right? Not the actual aim. So makes me wonder what's going on there. And Moody finished the game in those 30 minutes with just 5 points on 2 of 10 shooting, 1 of 6 from deep. Did grab 8 boards, added 3 assists. Again, just 1 turnover, had a steal, had a block. But a huge part of Moses Moody's value is the 3-point shot. And if he's not making that, and I feel like it's been off for a while now. So Moody and Draymond Green tied for 3rd in minutes with 30. Then Brandon Pajemski's next. And Pajemski actually, look, his supporters will immediately come out and say, he was not the problem tonight. He actually, did you see those shots in the 4th quarter? Yeah, I saw those shots in the 4th quarter. Those were insanely difficult shots that were going in. And good for him. He was keeping the Warriors in this game in the 4th quarter. But I can't ignore the defense. Teams target him. When he's out there with Steph, teams are not fearing the Warriors defensively. And we saw more of that tonight. What Steve Kerr, I don't think, is going to abandon is playing Steph and Pajemski out there heavy minutes. And that's just a detriment. I don't think the Warriors are going to snap out of anything if there isn't a change there. So Pajemski in his 28 minutes tonight did have 18 points, 2 of 3 from deep, 8 of 11 from the field. Now, the stat that disappoints me with Podziemski is a whopping 2 assists in 28 minutes from the quote-unquote connector. Added a steal, added a block, had 2 turnovers of his own. There was a third turnover that will not be attributed to him. And what I mean by that is he just dribbled the ball up the court and suddenly found himself surrounded by 4 Phoenix Suns players and didn't know what to do. And so I think Dylan Brooks or somebody they all just went for the ball and it turned into a jump ball. They lost the jump ball. That doesn't count as a turnover. That was a turnover. So what Podziemski credited with 2 turnovers on the night. But there's a lot of blame to go around. Quinton Post, who has been one of the feel-good stories of the season, he plays 27 minutes tonight. He had a lot of open looks for three-point shots, and those were clanking. Quinton Post in 27 minutes of play, just 9 points, 2 of 10 from deep, 3 of 14 from the field overall. So even if you take out the 3-point shots, he was still just 1 of 4 from the field. For a 7-footer, that's no bueno. No bueno at all. He did grab 11 rebounds, had an assist, 1 turnover, 1 steal, no blocks for Quinton Post in 27 minutes. Another huge disappointment, DeAnthony Melton. Played 15 minutes, and we could have a whole discussion about how poorly he's being used, but the numbers weren't good. 2 points in those 15 minutes, 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from deep, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals. Guy Santos, I thought, was one of the good stories for tonight. Wish we'd seen more of him. 14 minutes total. Didn't miss a shot. His 2 field goal attempts were both 3-pointers. He made those. I'm not muted, am I? Okay, good. Sorry, I haven't looked at my studio in a second there. And again, really weird that just a week ago, Steve Kerr saying that Guy Santos and Jonathan Kuminga play the same position, so they can't play together. And then the start of the second quarter, he plays them together. It's like just nothing makes sense with this guy. Nothing. And so Guy Santos, again, hit his 2 threes, had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover in 14 minutes. And then we had the JK sighting. He came into the game at the start of the second quarter, came into the game at the start of the fourth quarter, and even Kalen Azubuike was mentioning how his timing is off. He had been DNP'd the previous 3 games. In 10 minutes of play, 2 points for Kuminga, 1 of 5 from the field, no 3-point attempts for him, 4 boards, 1 assist, 1 turnover. And then you had spot minutes from Trayce Jackson-Davis. If there was anything encouraging about rotations tonight, it was Buddy Hield seeing his minutes dip to 10. Again, I want to see that drop to 0, but that's just me. Why Seth Curry gets DNPs, I have no idea. Why Will Richard gets DNPs, I have no idea. So again, spot minutes for Trayce Jackson-Davis, spot minutes for GP2, and the Warriors are losers. And Bob Fitzgerald in the broadcast tonight kept bringing up turnovers and points off turnovers. And look, you should bring that up. 20 turnovers versus the Phoenix Suns 15, and the Warriors lose by 1. You can point to that. No pushback here. And adding to that, in terms of points off turnovers, Phoenix had 30, the Warriors had 18. So the Warriors got outscored by 12 in terms of the turnover battle and points off that. But as egregious as the turnovers are, what sticks out to me the most in this game tonight was the absolutely anemic 3-point shooting. The Warriors as a team were 12 of 42 from deep. That's awful. That was good for 29%. The only salvation in terms of the 3-point shooting being as abysmal as it was, is Phoenix also going 29% from deep. The Warriors were 12 of 42, Phoenix 10 of 35. But 12 of 42. And that brings me back to Stephen Curry, and then I'll shut up and bring the audience on. I'll post a link in just a second. But Steph did not look good tonight. Now, Steph was the victim of a very dirty play by Dillon Brooks late in the game. If you missed that, I can't remember if it was an elbow, but Dillon Brooks with a cheap shot to Steph's gut. Should have been a flagrant 2, ended up being a flagrant 1. But that was at the very end. That doesn't matter. Stephen Curry this was like literally, and I don't think I'm exaggerating saying this, that this was one of his worst games ever. Like, he just didn't look good. He looked like someone who had the same bug that was afflicting him a month back when he ended up missing a few games because of a cold or some sort of virus. I don't know if he's sick again. Dude has 4 kids. It wouldn't surprise me. He looked like it. But when I reach in the numbers for Steph, it's concerning. Stephen Curry, 33 minutes of play tonight. 15 points, well below his season average and career average. He was just 3 of 14 from the field, just 2 of 9 from deep. Nearly half his points came from the free throw line. And I don't like the fact that Steph grabbed 9 boards. Normally, I'd be thrilled about that, right? He's doing everything out there. But at 37, I don't want Stephen Curry crashing the boards. I don't want him getting 9 rebounds. The 7 assists is a good number. He had 2 turnovers as well, had a steal. He just didn't look good. Stephen Curry tonight did not pass the eye test of someone who's one of the greatest to ever do this. The why of it, I have no clue. G4M saying, I think Steph was okay. Well, the numbers don't agree with you. And if you're saying in terms of an eye test, yeah, we can agree to disagree on that. He looked off. Like, the energy wasn't there. The joy wasn't there. It was a little concerning for me. So I see Steve Kerr at the podium right now. Let's see if any sound has come down that I could play for you. Because I don't have access to the live feed. Otherwise, I just jump right into it. So nothing yet. All right. So let's bring the audience on the show. If you have any thoughts, if you have any topics that you want to touch on with this Golden State Warriors squad that again drops to 13 and 15. But every time I see Steve Kerr, it's just this one clip, this suggestion, it's the most accurate of anything I hear. And when, again, Steve Kerr, head coach of the Golden State Warriors, is...
You are not serious people.
Doesn't act like it. He does not act like a serious person. Dude's stealing checks right now. A couple of paid chats here I want to get to real fast, and then and while I do that, or I'll post a link for the audience tonight if anyone wants to join. I will say this because I do pride myself in this program on authenticity, on keeping it real, on being straight with you. Look, certain Warriors losses are good for business, right? It makes things interesting. People are pissed off. We look good because, everything we're saying is leading to all the issues that this team has. But there's also going to come a point where the losing becomes tedious and people just lose interest. That ain't good for business. I don't like this. This just ain't good for anything. This is awful. 13 and 15. You just lost to a Phoenix Suns team that is not that great. I don't know how the hell Phoenix is still above 500. I know they had a weak start to the season in terms of their strength of schedule, but not a good look. And I do feel good that Joe Lacob is frustrated about all this. That email being leaked was fantastic. Give me more of that. Give me more of your angst. We're all frustrated here. Paid chats, and then we'll get to the audience. Trees in $21.99, $5 donation. Thank you. Saying Steve Kerr set up Kuminga to fail tonight, played him 6 minutes in the second quarter, sat him for over an hour, put him back in after the Warriors blow the lead, and the Suns have the momentum. Absolutely right. Now, is it intentional? Is it malicious setting Kuminga up to fail? I don't think so, but if you think otherwise, I'm not going to really push back hard because I don't think either of us can prove it. I use this word obtuse with Steve Kerr repeatedly. For years I've been saying this now. I don't think he has bad intent, ill intent per se, but you're absolutely right that the way he used Kuminga in this game 100% set him up for failure. Kuminga he's not a role player. And I thought we were under the premise that Kuminga was going to get traded January 15th. Then Joe Lacob sends that email out. Now I have no idea. And I still believe wholeheartedly that if you make a coaching change now, you can salvage this season. If you bring competency to the big chair for the Golden State Warriors, someone who simply can pick out the top 5 players, pick out the second 5 players, and bench the rest, you might be okay. Iasol dropping $5, saying, never forget when Larry Krueger logged out on you because he did. That was weird. He just bailed on his own show. And we were dual streaming that night. Said because he didn't want to bash Steve Kerr. Scary Larry. He was the only reason I found you. Glad I did. And again, it's unfortunate. I still believe wholeheartedly if Larry had not been rehired by KNBR that he would be with me. What's far more pathetic in my mind is just the sycophant nature of every company man in the Bay Area media scene. It's almost like it's like a rule book. Like, oh, we're paying you to talk sports. Here are the rules. Number 1, don't bash Steve Kerr. We like him. It's crazy. It's utter lunacy. Nothing genuine or authentic about the coverage you're getting from any of these corporate entities, these legacy media outlets, or even for the most part, these fan shows. I feel like we're the only fan show, with the exception of and I don't mean to. There's one other show out there that I know has been bashing Steve Kerr, but we've been criticizing this man for 3+ years, and I think that's it. There's like 2 total, right? On the whole spectrum. And the other one is just like the guy was like a Kings fan until 2013, and he has no journalistic background, no credibility, and apparently some of you folks like him, so more power to you. But yeah, Larry, it's a shame. And again, at some point, he's so busy with the Niners that the moment that season ends, we'll do some collabs again. But yeah, that was embarrassing. Curry Flurry, $1.99, saying, I actually love these Suns announcers. How did you listen to the Suns announcers? And I'm glad you wrote that. Excuse me. Because I don't know if you folks watched the local broadcast, the NBC Sports Bay Area feed, the flagship TV station of the Golden State Warriors. The entire first quarter of the broadcast sounded like Bob Fitzgerald and Clint Asbuki were sitting in a bathroom in a glass cage of emotion. It sounded terrible. It was all echoey. It sounded like they're on their phones. Took like a whole quarter before they figured their shit out. But Curry Flurry, how are you enjoying the Suns broadcasters? I don't have that option. I envy you. Curry Flurry, another $1.99, saying that Draymond Green needs to come off the bench. You might be onto something. Friendly reminder, he did come off the bench last year for the entire month of December and the early part of January before Jonathan Kuminga got injured. So I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I don't think that's a bad idea. And Draymond himself, it just sucks that the Warriors are at a point where they don't have a coach who can make the proper adjustments and utilize the minutes effectively. And what I mean by that is Draymond, I don't know if Draymond Green can be a 30-minute a night guy anymore. I also don't think Draymond Green can sustain your team when he's out there, and opposing defenses, their entire strategy is We're going to focus on the other 4 dudes. Dre, you have at it. That's how they play him. He gets like the Rudy Gobert treatment. He gets like the, what are some other big stiffs out there that teams just like do not give a crap about, at least in terms of perimeter shooting? Because Dre, that's what Dre is. He's a massive liability offensively. Unless he's hitting those threes, then he's making those other teams pay, but that's not a consistent thing. Corbs dropping $5, saying Draymond Green was bad again, and statistically, he's having one of his worst seasons in every metric. At some point, his minutes need to be reduced, which then begs the question, will Steve Kerr do that? Which again begs the question, why is Steve Kerr still the head coach? Just to make Steph happy? Is nostalgia the game we're playing right now? Because that's all that's left. That's the only remaining justification for keeping this guy on board, is nostalgia. The exact thing Joe Lacob wanted to avoid, citing Kobe Bryant's mid-2010s Lakers as an example of what he did not want his team to turn into. Guess what, Joe? Keep this guy atop. You're going to get more of this. It's depressing. And Ranger Rick, $5, saying Kuminga tried so hard in practice that he earned 10th man off the bench honors and a whopping total of 9 minutes. I don't have my goddamn. I'm so frustrated because the normal box score that I use is not available. And the fact that the box score that was provided to the public at the half is night and day different from what it was at the end of the game makes, oh no, it's back. Oh, thank everything that's holy. I got my box scores back. All right. I feel a little better now, a little more comfortable. And the reason why I say that is among many nuanced statistics you get with the old school box scores that I rely on are exact minutes and seconds with playing time. So, for example, the box score I was just looking at a second ago said Kuminga played 10 minutes, when in fact he actually played 9 minutes and 31 seconds. I know it's not a big deal, but still, look, 29 seconds. That went to a player who's not as good as him, most likely. I'm feeling good about that. Oh, the private chat's blowing up. So all the people in the green room. All right, let's start bringing you on. Let's start with Bloomer Vibes. You joined first. I'm going in chronological order. Slash, Chris Florida, Aim Assist, Han Solo Dolo, the real Eleazy. I might start doing two at a time to fit everyone. I'm definitely saving the last two, and I'm bringing them on together because there are two people who are regular Golden Dazers that come on this show. They both have the handle Fire Kerr. One of them is Quentin. One of them is Cam, and they're both waiting there. I'm going to bring them both on together. It's time. We're long overdue for that. And in fact, let's do that next. All right. I want to give the people what they want. So they will jump the line after Bloomer Vibe, and then we'll go in that chronological order I just mentioned. So Zeke, you will be the last person. Forgive me for that. Maybe we'll do two at a time moving forward. But Bloomer, welcome to the show. What was your reaction to another Warriors loss? Their 15th.
Man, well, Doomer tonight, not Bloomer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, what's that? Yeah.
What's that?
I said the picture, your profile photo reflects that. It's
yeah,
the same one you normally use, is it?
No, I use this whenever the Warriors lose.
There we go. Makes sense. What'd you think about the game?
Yeah, so I know other people want to put in their thoughts, but I want to start off by saying this was a horrendous game, beginning to end. And the only bright spots I really saw in this game was Curry and Butler's performances. And surprisingly enough, coming from someone that's not a Pods lover, he actually played decent tonight. I'll give him decency. But I really think that
Pajemski?
Yeah, Pods.
Yeah, decent. Yeah. And again, those shots at the end, they were so wild. Like, those are not the kind of shots you teach. Those aren't the shots you coach. Those are not high efficiency shots. He was like, those are like end of the shot clock, flailing type shot, and they were going in. So it's going to look good on the box score. But to me, this was not like and again, 2 assists.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
Like, you're the point guard out there. Like, and maybe more specifically, Steph and Pajemski. And I've been harping on this for like a month. They can't be out there together. Nope. You can't. How many minutes tonight were spent with minutes where we had Pajemski, DeAnthony Melton, and Steph on the floor together, or Buddy, Pajemski, and whoever the third, and Steph, whoever there's just so many like of these diminutive 3-guard lineups. It's not even like regular guards. Like Will Richard is a traditional shooting guard. On this team, he's like a damn power forward, and he's getting DNPs on top of that. Kerr rolls with these tiny lollipop guild lineups. Like, it's absurd. Like, why is GP2 your first guy off the bench? That's absurd. Like, I don't like, why is Buddy Hield even getting 10 minutes at this point? And he actually made his 1 3-point attempt, and then we don't see him again. So like, we make that make sense. For like 3 months almost, we were watching Buddy Hield with atrocious night after 2 months, night after night after night performances. Tonight, he plays 10 minutes all in the first half. In the second half, just to confirm, because I'm guessing he didn't get any minutes in the second half. And this is just to highlight, like, again, how absurd Steve Kerr is with his rotational decisions. Buddy Hield got 2 minutes and 15 seconds in the second half. So the one game where he's actually doing okay, now you pull him. Like, make that make sense. But we still got more than enough minutes from, like, any minutes from Buddy Hield, in my opinion, is too much. But these 3-guard lineups, man, these rotations are just, they're asinine. It's a joke.
Yeah, like a lot of people also want to harp on Steve, like trying to kiss his butt and say like, "Oh, you can't be mad at Steve for this and that. He knows what he's doing." And I'm like, guys, like those 4 championships, like your Casey Jones point, obviously bring that up, right? Because look, the only championship that in my opinion, even though some will disagree, I mean, maybe you might disagree, Cy, but I really think even he didn't even get a lot of credit, but like the 22 chip, I know Curry was carrying everyone on his back in that one, but Kerr did have some sort of part in that, and for sure. The 15-1, Mark was the foundation for that, Mark Jackson, and then the other 2, if you didn't have KD, any other coach can coach that team and they win a chip. Like this whole resume of Steve, like, it has to stop. Like this is not a good look for him. He's looking really bad right now. I don't know why he's still on the team or how he's still on the team.
I don't either. And real quick, well, I'm trying to catch up on the chat, which is on fire. So apologies for interrupting you real quickly.
No problem.
But Riz is saying bring back Damon Bruce on the show. Him and I used to do a weekly program called Warriors Wednesdays, and part of the reason why I have not enthusiastically reached out to Damon to continue that is because every time we did those shows, our numbers would tank, literally, and you could see with your own eyes. But more importantly than that, that's besides the point. That's just that was just a little like solidifying evidence for me to not eagerly resume that. But more importantly, Damon is entirely focused on the Niners. And case in point, tonight you had 2 games going on at the same time. You had the Warriors and Suns, and then you had the Thursday night football game between the Seahawks and the Rams, which had huge playoff implications for the San Francisco 49ers. So Damon didn't even watch the game. So, and this is a huge problem I have in terms of bringing guests on the show and collaborating with other people. It's not easy to take them seriously when they're not even watching games, right? And to me, the whole idea of like one sports host who can be an expert on all the teams, like that's such a bullshit, like antiquated concept. Like you look at all these local sports talk radio stations, and like like anyone who sits there and pretends that they can 1 minute sit here and give you like A+ analysis on the Niners, and then 2 seconds later give you A+ analysis on the Warriors, and then 2 seconds later give you A+ analysis on the San Francisco Giants. Dude, it's impossible. There are not enough hours in the day for one person to just be this expert for all the sports. You just can't. It's damn near impossible. And this current media climate with new media allows programs like these to focus strictly on one team and give fans of a specific team what they want. And the whole reason I bring all that up is because, Riz, your suggestion is awesome. Like Damon and I, we go way back. Maybe we'll collaborate at some point. It wouldn't surprise me if he reaches out in February when the Niners season's over and he needs content. But he doesn't seriously watch Warriors games. He has strong opinions, but strong opinions don't mean they're right. And I'm always open to suggestions. I do want to give the people what they want in terms of like guests and collaborations and stuff. But Damon doesn't watch the games. Even Larry's not watching games. That's why him and I haven't done a dual stream in months. It's been a long ass time. I mean, we did one show since he unfortunately bailed just in the middle of the stream because he didn't. I don't know. He didn't like hearing what I said, I guess, or whatever, the tone, I don't know. But he doesn't watch Warriors games regularly. So if I'm going to do this show and treat it seriously, I need to do it with people who are, observing every second of every game, because that's what I'm doing. That's my expectation. So, and I think there's some people who can meet that. So anyways, Riz, that's why I hope I answered your question, and probably answered it way longer than I should have. Bloomer, any final thoughts before we bring some other folks on?
Final thoughts. Hopefully next time I'll use my Bloomer account and we get some wins, but I'll do this for some other time. But right now, I do want to point out a small positive, even though it didn't seem that key.
I want to hear it. Yeah.
Steve did put, when Guy Santos went in the game, Kuminga was also in the game.
He brought them in together.
There we go, Steve. I'm like, I was even yelling at my TV. I'm like, finally, Steve. There.
Yeah.
You get.
Yeah, I said that at the beginning, but it also again goes to, it was also kind of frustrating because it contradicts what he said just a week ago. And it's like, okay, fine. Mixed messaging, great. You're giving the people what they want, great. But clearly we can't trust the thing this guy says. I mean, like nothing that comes out of his mouth is serious. He literally, it was a week ago. He was saying they played the same position so that you can't play them together. Like, what's really going on, man? Like, Steve Kerr is not a serious person at this point.
That's why I said it was a small little glimpse of hope. But I know in the bigger picture, like we've all been understanding, is that he's not really seeing the big picture. He's only looking at parts and moments where he thinks that he's trying to please a certain audience or a certain fan base in the Warriors section, but it's not leading to fruition. It's only like giving a small glimpse of hope, and then it just goes back to negativity from that. You're not going to get anything good out of it, even though it's something we want to see, And then,
Bloomer, did you see this, by the way? G4M in our chat writes that Weather is asking if I saw Draymond Green wave off Steve Kerr tonight while he was talking. I missed that. Bloomer, did you see it?
I was watching the game. I think I did remember. I don't remember specifically the quarter, but I did remember seeing something like that happening. I was actually wondering why he was doing that.
What was it, like during a timeout, or what was the context?
It was like a huddle. Yeah, I think it was like some sort of huddle or situation, but I don't remember exactly the moment. But I do remember when he was waving off Kerr, when he was like trying to say something. So in that moment, I was just trying to focus on game plans, and I was just making little critiques about, buddy this, pods that, more Santos, more Kuminga. Why is real Richard getting DNPs? Why is why we haven't seen Seth Curry in like a million years now? Like come on, man. Like, Al Horford at this point is like a freaking coach on the roster. He's not even a playable character or a playable NBA player. He's just sitting there. Like, I see in a little timeout how he's giving advice to post. That's good, but you're not part of the coaching staff. You're an active player, and whatever old man injury, whatever you're dealing with, get off your ass, get up, suit up, play. Doesn't have to be like a lot of crazy minutes, but some sort of impact. Get something that people want to watch and care about, even if you're not that significant. And Steve Kerr doesn't have, I'll just say he doesn't have the balls to do it. He does.
I just don't think he cares. I really don't think he cares anymore. That's the vibe I'm getting. Is the sense I'm getting is that Steve Kerr knows this is the final hurrah. He doesn't give a shit. He wants to do things his way. I like it's as weird as this may sound. The take that I saw, some random person on social media wrote something, and it resonated with me far more than anything else. And this person wrote that Steve Kerr is acting like a person who's daring Joe Lacob to either fire him or give him all the power and make him the GM and just make this his team. And that, as crazy as this sounds, that makes more sense than anything else I've heard. It's wild shit with what's going on right now, man. It really is.
Yeah, he needs to be fired. I'm done with Steve. I'm
done too. I'm so done with it.
Ever since he did what he did with JK and now with Will Richard, I'm like, no, we're not doing.
And Seth, why is Seth getting DNPs?
Seth Curry as well.
What's the why have we not seen Stephen Curry and Seth Curry on the floor together for a single possession this year?
I honestly think. I'm not trying to sound funny, but I honestly think I feel like they only brought in Seth just to please Steph, but Steve's not playing Seth because he thinks he's like a liability, and he's also he's dealing with some sort of injury. Like, we only want to play him for the big games. Like, dumbass, play him. Every game matters. You're losing these games without putting the main or like key rotation players in there. Will
Yeah.
Richard is a key player. Jonathan Kuminga is well more of a key player if you use him correctly. And Seth Curry is definitely a key player. But you keep putting, oh, yeah, I see Buddy play good in one stretch. Oh, let me just keep playing him. Oh, even though he sucked. Oh, I see my non-biological son Pod's doing so good. Let me just keep giving him more minutes.
Yeah,
Like
I do.
this is so like it's a broken record. It's not consistent. If he thinks it's some sort of connectivity, like that's why like I mean, try to get off topic. I know other people want to jump on real quick, but I just like trying to get off topic. That's why when other guests come on, like I recently watched your what's it called? The other live with awful coaching. I really thought that was really cool, by the way.
It was funny. The only
Yeah.
disappointing part is the fact that he just has an incredibly just sour, negative attitude toward all NBA coaching, and I get it. I'm totally with him on that, but it kind of limits like the back and forth discourse, because if you don't like anybody, then it's like then calling out one specific coach just doesn't have the same resonance as it would if he had certain favorites, and then you got kind of like levels to it. You can make comparisons, but and I get it. Like the NBA, instead of National Basketball Association, you might as well call it Nepo Baby Association. It is. It's just rampant nepotism has completely invaded the sport, and I don't think that's a good thing. I really don't.
Yeah.
To me, nepotism is not a formula for success. It's a formula for something that's just that's stagnated, that has been completely taken over by a select few, and that's not a recipe for success or growth or anything for that matter. Bloomer, I love you, man. I'm going to bounce. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to say
Right,
thanks again, Cy.
Of course, Bloomer. I'll see you soon. Hopefully next time you have a positive image representing
hopefully
a win. Maybe as soon as Saturday night. That's when the Warriors play next. We shall
go.
see. Bloomer, have a great night, brother. Thank you. I want to get to the two Fire Kerr guys because they are legends. Before we do that, let me just really quickly see if any sound has come down from Steve Kerr or any of the players live from Phoenix. At least I'm live. Here's Steve Kerr. We got one. And this is courtesy of NBC Sports Bay Area, who could not provide quality audio for the first quarter of this game. I don't know if you folks experienced that as well, but they at least published a post-game press conference clip so we can get some decent audio. Here is Steve Kerr talking about of all the things. God damn it. Of all the clips they show, it's the one that means nothing, but it's all we have at the moment. We'll hear it, and this is going to be a perfect seg, I think, to the two Fire Kerr guys, Quentin and Cam. This was Steve Kerr talking about the final call. Of course, he's going to deflect and blame this loss on the refs and not his own asinine decisions. Nonetheless, here is Steve Kerr talking about the refs at the end of the game calling a foul on GP2 that resulted in 2 free throws for who was it again that had those final shots? It was Jordan Goodwin had the game-winning free throws, missed the first one, which I imagine, like a lot of you, I was suddenly blessed with a little hope that maybe this game's going to go to OT and we might get some better fortunes, but he made the second free throw. It ended, and here's Steve Kerr scapegoating the referees in a game where, in my opinion, his personnel decisions, like usual, cost the team.
Talked about a lot about the closer games throughout the year. Is there something that you are seeing in these late games that are tight that you all aren't doing that you need to do?
Not tonight. Tonight we executed really well. It's hard to believe that the game was decided on that call, on an air ball that hits the side of the backboard. And
hold on. I apologize for interrupting for a second there, but they executed really well. You had 20 turnovers. You scored 98 points. You shot 29% from 3. I swear to God, this guy's just a Brandon Pajemski fan. That's the only way I could picture this being a game where you are under the delusion that you executed well. Is all Steve Kerr looking at with box scores and his vision of the court just Pajemski? Is that it? Because what is going on here, man? What do you mean you executed well? What is, dude? There is change desperately needed where that man right there is sitting. apologies for cutting that off short. Let's finish up.
Not tonight. Tonight we executed really well. It's hard to believe that the game was decided on that call, on an air ball that hits the side of the backboard. And guys behind the bench told me that Moses got all ball. Everybody's tangled up. That to me, it better be a foul to decide the game on a play like that. So disappointing that we didn't get to go to overtime, because I thought our guys executed and did a great job in the last few minutes of, giving ourselves a chance.
Oh my God. I strongly agree to disagree. I did not feel that way at all. Curry Flurry in the chat dropping a $1.99 saying F nepotism, 100% with you. Diddle dropping a $1.99. Thank you for your donation, saying so Brandon Pajemski on offense is more needed than 2016 Harden on D. I think that's what you're trying to say there, I think. But I get your point, man. The Pajemski minutes are asinine, and I guarantee Kerr's apologist will be like, of all the people you're criticizing, Brandon Pajemski, he was a plus 15, bro. Plus 15 in net rating, bro. Let's get the Kerr haters on. Not just Kerr haters, they want him fired. I'm gonna bring you both on together. How you two doing? Let's start with which one of you is Quentin?
It's me. What up, Si?
What's up, Quentin? And Cam, you're here too, right?
What's up? What's up?
What up,
I don't
Kerr?
just want him fired. I want him stoned. I want lashings. I want him beat, dragged through the streets. He got to pay for what he has done to Stephen Curry's career. He should have 6-7 rings right now, to keep it real.
Let's start with that. And I don't care which one of you two starts this off. Stephen Curry, man, what were your thoughts on his game tonight? Because I didn't like what I saw, and maybe I'm seeing something different. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Like, let Quentin start with you. What did you think about Steph tonight?
I think Steph back sore from carrying this club.
Yeah.
Like where he dropped 49, 40, 35, something like. One thing I know about Steph. If Steph gives,
oh my God, that is funny.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
if Steph gives you 3 good games in a row, he's gonna have a bad game. Like Steph rarely has 4 to 5 good games in a row. So
he usually be in a slump in December too. So he been playing great for December.
I knew a fall off was coming, but I didn't know it was tonight. But once again, Si, I'm happy we lost, because that's a 3-game losing streak. If we get to 6 or 7,
keep these losses coming. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. I want Kerr to burn for what he's done. Go ahead.
You two should just take over the show. I'm going to shut up for a little while.
Go ahead.
What did you see tonight?
Hey, Chardon, we coming for your spot now.
No, we can share. We can share. I mean, I'll own the channel and just give it to you if you can make it money. Go for it. We'll figure out the rest.
Definitely.
We'll figure out the money.
But like this shit's getting insane. I'm so glad Lacob did what he did. So hopefully he's ready to make a move. All the radio stations, oh, you're not going to fire him during the season. No, why are you going to waste another year of Stephen Curry's career? Get him out of here now and let Terry Stotts take over. The shit he do never makes sense. The only thing I would say, I heard Steph got a thigh injury. I don't know if that's to be true, but I heard he got a thigh injury, so I don't know if that was on the injury report.
Did you hear that based off the late game jab by Dylan Brooks? In case people missed that, I brought this up at the beginning of the show. Dylan Brooks with another cheap shot. That dude's just something else, man. He's on another planet. He's one of a kind.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I'd rather have him than Draymond. Get us Dylan Brooks for Draymond, man. Because Draymond holding up the offense. And if you notice, they put the ball in Jimmy's hands tonight, and the offense was moving smoothly. But every time Draymond got the ball, he tried to shoot a 3 because he know he about to go to the bench. He know he not ready to be on this team. I mean, in the starting lineup. Let Jimmy and Steph take over the game, run a 2-man game. Everybody keeps saying Jimmy not being aggressive. That's because Draymond got the ball in his hands. Give Jimmy the ball and let him work and let Draymond come off the bench. Run the second unit.
I'm glad you brought that up, and I want to piggyback off that for a second because I said that I mentioned this briefly at the start of the show in terms of the one of the rare silver linings from this game tonight was seeing the offense when Steph was off the floor and Jimmy was on it. There was a much greater emphasis on Jimmy Butler being the focal point for the offense, and this has been a gripe of this team all season. The fact that, and Jimmy himself said it publicly, the motion offense. It's kind of gimmicky when Stephen Curry's off the floor. But what Jimmy also said, and this is where if by some miracle this happens, I do think the season can be salvaged with Steve Kerr coaching. Do what you did tonight with Jimmy when he's out there in terms of him being the focal point of the offense, and add Kuminga to the mix. Have two offensive threats. Even have Will Richard out there. That dude can smoke three-pointers like it's going out of style. He's a great player. I don't get those DNPs either. My point is, if you can, when Steph is off the floor, if you can give Jimmy help, like real help on that court, I think this team could be okay, man. They lost by 1 tonight.
Not Buddy, not Pod. We got the players to win the championship. But Kerr is giving Guy Santos, giving Kuminga low minutes. Like, come on, dude. You want to just throw him out there, sprinkle him, put him in a bad position? Like, come on, man. You got to put the right players around him. We got the right players. You just got to play the wings with the more wings than more guards. Less guards.
And this is where, again, the memo in our chat saying Kuminga was garbage tonight. He played 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 30 seconds. He'd been DNP'd the 3 previous games. What the hell do you expect from this guy? He was
no time to get in rhythm. That's why I hate this part of the fan base. Because it's like, it's like they say Kuminga had 5 years. Why hasn't he progressed? Because Kerr was doing the same thing he doing to Will Richard. Not letting the best player play, but giving the seniority. But he didn't give seniority to Clay. He had Pods trying to start over Clay. So how is Fajinski getting all these minutes? But he was a rookie. He a young player. Steph Curry, Melton got way more seniority than them, and they sitting on the bench riding. Melton did have kind of a bad game. He ain't gotten back in his rhythm yet.
So for all of
the Kuminga haters, Buddy.
Don't mean to cut you off, Cam, but for all the Kuminga haters, all the Kuminga 1 for 10 haters, where are they for when it comes to Melton? Because if you go over the last 3 games, Melton is 3 for 17 for the last 3 games. So where is all the hate?
Yeah, he's been off.
Where's
they got to get the same minutes that Pods and Buddy get.
And I'm with you there. And this is, look, you ask anybody who's been in the game a long time, you ask anybody who's played, observed, and the consensus is pretty universal, man. Some players are not built to just come in and be a role player that gives you 5 minutes of hustle. And look, some guys are built for that. Others are not. And the reason why I bring that up is D'Anthony Melton tonight. It was not a good game. At the same time, why is he only getting 15 minutes? D'Anthony Melton is not just a little better than Podziemski. He's way better than Brandon Podziemski. So unless he's on a minute restriction, and even if he is, I've seen him play 25 minutes, I think, at least once this season. To get only 14 minutes, 55 seconds, that's a little absurd. And some guys need minutes, man. They need 30-plus minutes so you have a complete body of work. Maybe Melton starts slow, finishes strong, right? We see that all the time. D'Anthony Melton to me is not a role player is what I'm trying to say, dude. Like Melton should be getting 30-plus minutes tonight. Kuminga should be getting 30-plus minutes tonight. Will Richard should be getting 30-plus minutes tonight. But he's a rookie, and if you want to take it a little slower with him, fine. At least give him 20, 25. But, dude, this is insane, man. I hope Guy Santos earned some trust tonight because he was one of the only good stories from this game, I thought.
So,
he didn't even play that much. I think he got like less than 10 minutes or something like that.
That too. What's up, Cam? I'm sorry.
I was saying, what did you see about Moody today? Did you see him go left at any moment?
I forgot to look. Thank you for reminding me. I didn't have a chance. I didn't look. Moody to me this was a very frenetic game. The pace was fast. I don't think this was a good game for Moody. I also am very disappointed again that Moses Moody, I didn't really see him attack much. He was mostly just kind of facilitating, and he was just spotting up for these open threes that he was bricking. 1 of 6 from deep. That last one, wide open in the corner, and he clanked that dude. That bad look, man. What did you think?
The thing about Moody is if he don't have a direct drive with the right hand, he's going to shoot it. So if he can't drive directly, he's gonna pass it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he don't have a left hand at all. He's like Pascal Siakam. I don't know if you watch Pascal Siakam, but he don't go right. He only goes right too. So those are
I
two
didn't notice
players.
that either, man. No, that's interesting.
You have to look at the small details of a player to see
I do. Like, again, Pascal Siakam, though, you don't really see him handling the rock that much. He's mostly offensively. He's either just, setting up in the post. And so I don't pay much attention to that with him. With Moody, again, that was my bad. I forgot to kind of look at that closely. And maybe I should just go back and look at film on Moody, because you've got my interest peaked. Quentin, have you noticed that about Moses Moody, that his left hand's weak?
Yeah, that was me.
I haven't noticed it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't noticed it. I just think he get his minutes jerked around so much that he ain't consistent either at the moment. But I just think time will get him better, more time shooting the ball. But he did miss a lot of shit tonight. Post was missing shit. So I heard that Steph had an injury, but he needs to be well within the game plan. Curry needs to go talk to his coach like, man, put my brother in the game. Do what Giannis do.
Steph got hurt. But was the injury like because of that cheap shot by Dylan
No,
Brooks?
not Steph. Steph. Steph Curry.
Are you talking about the glute?
Nah, somebody said his thigh. I can't confirm that, but somebody said his thigh was hurt. That's why he was the
For the record, when I looked at the injury report yesterday, he was not on it. So unless something happened very last minute, that's a weird one to me. I didn't see anything indicating it.
And what about?
I honestly thought Will Richard was gonna play tonight because he got so much backlash for saying that, but he don't care. Kerr do not care.
No, Kerr doesn't care at all.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Definitely start that GoFundMe, because I've been trying to get people to support me so I could go to a game, sit right behind Kerr, and respectfully talk my shit.
Do me a favor, and when you get that GoFundMe link, let's set that up.
Okay,
let's commit to that. I'm with you. All right, I will help you with that. All right, we'll use this show. You got to create that GoFundMe though. Like you got to actually, do the legwork.
I'm gonna do that tonight. I need to get to a game.
Yeah, don't do it tonight. It's probably too late. But I don't think it's that hard to set up a GoFundMe. Do it.
Yeah, it's not hard.
Let's make that happen, man.
For surely. Because them fucking tickets be too expensive for me. Shit, I ain't gonna lie.
And in case the audience is unfamiliar with what you're trying to say here, you want to raise a GoFundMe to get seats, like high quality seats, directly behind Steve Kerr, so you could trash talk him in a way that won't get you kicked out early, right? You got to
right. No cursing, just.
But you're going to be loud enough that everyone can hear it, including Joe Lacob. He might be the most important one to hear that. But
that's who I need to get to. I said I need to find his email so I can start emailing him. Hopefully he respond to me, because I got a lot to say to that man.
His email is public, dude. It's we all saw it in that exchange, or at least we saw one of them. Like one of his email is right here. It's right here. It's here. I'll share my screen too, just so folks can see this as well. It's glacob@kpcb.com. That's his venture capital firm.
So I want to know
we got to do something with
talking about.
What's up?
I want to know what was Kerr talking about, saying we executed well tonight. I threw up in my mouth immediately. We had 8 turnovers in like the first quarter.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
3 from Draymond.
I don't know, man. You just heard me go off on that. I didn't get that either. What the hell? I mean, dude, they had 20 turnovers. They shot 29% from 3. They might have. Look, if he's talking about his defense, they gave up 99 points. That's a good thing. But not sure. What did you execute well offensively? Are you kidding me? Like 30 points off turnovers.
This man is a joke.
Well? It's like, make it make sense, man.
He's never consistent. He's never consistent with the message he's delivering. Like, oh my God.
I want to bring some other folks on who have been patiently waiting. Any final thoughts?
Nothing, man. Love your show. It was good talking with you, Cam.
For sure, man. Glad we got the same mentality, man. Get Kerr out of here this season. We cannot waste no more Curry's greatness.
Gentlemen, have a great night, dude. Cam, Quentin, start
that.
Have a good one, man. Right?
Oh yeah. And shout out to Space Gang too. That's another platform they be on. We was on Playback, but now it's on Twitter and Discord.
Playback's done. That's weird, dude.
Yeah, I know. I said that they was on playback. Now they do spaces on Twitter, and they got a Discord where they watch the game live.
Isn't it weird though that playback as a company just shut down?
Yeah, they ran out of money.
That's wild, dude.
Some people was on there 12, 14 hours a day trying to get everything they could, and the money ran out.
That's crazy. How does the money run out? Like, I mean, most of your bills, I'm guessing, are just to one or two engineers and your data center fees, and that's it. Like, it was such a good premise. Like, anybody could just basically, be a broadcaster during a game, and you're done. How does that not work? Like, I mean, what's the overhead on that? You don't even need like an office to rent. That's bizarre, dude. I guess just
no idea.
Sir, one last thing, sir. If JK, Jimmy, and Santos play the same position, what do Pods, Pat Spencer, GP2, Buddy Hield, and Steph play?
Exactly.
And just adding to that, if Pat Spencer was available tonight, he was a DNP for personal reasons. That's what they wrote. Does Kuminga play?
No.
I don't think he does either.
Bring up Cryer and the other dude we just signed. We need more wings, and Cryer is way better than Podziemski, Buddy, and Hield.
Thank you, brother. Thank you both, man. No, I'm with you.
Good one.
You too, man. LJ Cryer needs to get minutes. I'm still trying to get him on the show as a guest. He's so focused on just basketball, and good for him. But even just 15 minutes would be incredible. I'm working on that still. I hope that happens. Let's see if there's any more sound has come down, and then we'll bring more folks on. I'll do 2 at a time, just so the wait is not as long for people. We'll make it a more social affair for this evening. I saw Draymond Green at the podium. Let's see. I'm checking right now my feed to see if any sound has dropped, and so far the only one. God damn it. Although, you know what? A couple of you folks brought up these YouTube channels that immediately publish these press conferences. And let's see if I can just do a quick search. Let's see if it's like available now. Let's see here. Hold on, give me 1 second. It's a live show. Forgive me. Bam. Here we go. Let's listen to this. This is the entirety of it. The Warriors published this. They did this fast. Thank you, Golden State. So let's listen to the whole press conference. It's not long. It's 4 minutes and 8 seconds. This was Steve Kerr immediately following the game. I want to hear from this man and what he has to say besides the officials. All right, because again, the Bay Area media is in this man's pocket, pretty evident by now. So you're not going to get criticism from anyone else, and that includes sound bites. In case you folks had forgotten a week earlier, that Seth Curry soundbite, we were the only program playing that. I was the only schmuck on social media posting that. No one else wanted to touch it. It's crazy. I just hope none of these media folks that are here in the Bay Area covering the Warriors, with the exception of Slater and a lesser extent Nick Friedel, are using the word journalist in terms of it being applicable to them. It's not. You're not journalists. All right. You're propagandists. You're media professionals, but you're propagandists. Okay. Like your goal is to make Steve Kerr look good. There's no journalism in that. There's certainly nothing that represents integrity in that approach. And thankfully, the Warriors posted this press conference of Steve Kerr. So let's hear from it. And then we'll bring on two people at a time to finish up the show. Give me 1 second. Sorry. All right. Got it queued up. Sound the screen. And here is Steve Kerr following tonight's very disappointing 99-98 loss to the Suns. That drops the Warriors to 13-15 on the year.
Steve, what do you think the biggest difference was in the second half?
Well, we turned it over quite a bit. I thought we let our shoulders drop a little bit, energy, spirit, let ourselves, feel sorry for ourselves a little bit when they made their run. And I was really proud of the guys, the way they fought and gave ourselves a chance. But, we've just got to be sharper. 20 turnovers for 30 points. So we've got to be sharper with the ball. We've got to be better with our body language and our energy.
12 of 42 from 3-point range. Did you like the looks that you guys?
Yeah, we got good looks. So sometimes the ball doesn't go in, and that happens. So I wasn't concerned about that, but we got good looks. Thought we played really hard. Offensive rebounds, we were crashing. We got 15 of those. But a tough night shooting, and you can still win those games, right? Jimmy carried us. He hit the huge three down the stretch, and but you have to take care of the ball. You have to execute, and right now we're just not doing that well enough.
31 points for Jimmy. It seemed like focal point right away.
Yeah.
In the first quarter on just how what'd you think of the way you guys got him the ball and just spaced around him?
It was just Jimmy being demonstrative out there. And this is vintage Jimmy, 8 for 9 from the line, 11 for 17, attacking, moving the ball at the right time. He was brilliant out there.
Did you make it a point before the game, or did he say, I'll take more offensively? Is that
we had a couple film sessions the last 2 days and had a couple practices, and we were able to just kind of remind the guys of how we played down the stretch last year after we traded for Jimmy.
And again, this is where if you ever wonder why do I call this man obtuse, this is a perfect example. He keeps going back to last year. The stretch where they went 23-7 with Jimmy Butler, while completely ignoring two insanely important facts. One, the strength of the schedule was a cakewalk, those final 30 games. All the tough games were out of the way. Of those final 30 games, I'll even read it to you again, just so you can hear it and understand why I say what I say. Because the moment you hear this 30-game stretch, I promise you it's going to sound like a cakewalk, all right? The Golden State Warriors last year, in the stretch where they went 23-7. I'm just going to read you the teams that they played. Of those 30, maybe 6 or 7 represent a good teams. Here's who they played. The Bulls. Yay. The Bucks. Yay. The Mavericks. And side note, this is the Mavericks that traded Luka Doncic. Yay. The Rockets. All right, that's a little tough. The Kings. Yay. Dallas. I'll just fly through this because I'm going to say yay a million times otherwise. Dallas. Charlotte. Orlando's kind of tough. Philly. Charlotte. The Knicks. Kind of tough. Brooklyn. Detroit. Portland. Sacramento. The Knicks again. Kind of tough. The Nuggets. Tough. Bucks. Raptors. Atlanta. Miami. New Orleans. San Antonio, who did not have Wemby. Memphis. The Lakers. Okay. Denver. Yes. Houston. Yes. Phoenix. San Antonio. And at this point, this was the third to last game where they lost to the Spurs. And this was the beginning of the Jonathan Kuminga DNPs. Portland. And then the ever important game against the Clippers that would have decided whether they were a play-in or they clinched the 6th seed, and they lost that game. Did that sound like a tough stretch to you folks? Let me read that to you one more time. This is the stretch that Steve Kerr, and this is why this man frustrates me so much. If you're a serious person, stop pretending that 23-7 run means anything. You did it against anemic opposition. Excuse me. And you bungled it at the end by completely misusing your best players. One more time. I'll go through really fast. When they got Jimmy Butler, this is who they played. Chicago, Milwaukee, Dallas, Houston, Sacramento, Dallas. And again, when I say Dallas, no Luka, right? This was after the Luka trade. Charlotte, Orlando, Philly, Charlotte, New York, Brooklyn, Detroit, Portland, Sacramento, Knicks, Nuggets. And then the Nuggets games are pretty much the ones that stick out here for the lone really good ones for the most part. Bucks, Raptors, Hawks, Heat, Pelicans, Spurs, no Wemby, remember, Grizzlies, Lakers, Nuggets, Rockets, Suns, Spurs, Portland again, and then you finish the season with the Clippers. That is not a stretch of a schedule that you make important decisions on. Obtuse, stubborn, ignorant, obtuse. And that's what this moron is still clinging to, pretending that means something. It didn't mean shit. God damn it, man. This guy, I want him gone so bad.
Controlled games. When he's got the ball, we generally take care of it. We don't turn it over when he's got it. So that was the main focus the last couple of days. Let's just remember, what our team is built on, and how we need to.
Let's remember that we're built on a stretch of a third of a season that was the easiest last year. And here's the other thing I forgot to mention too. Your guys are a year older. When you're in your late 30s, that shit matters. The entire plan that the front office had, that this obtuse individual is not following, the reason why you paid guys like Kuminga $22 million is because the old guys need help this year. That was the last run those three will ever have where they can carry a team. That's it. And this guy is sitting here pretending that Steph, Jimmy, and Dre still have it in them without a serious supporting cast. And even worse, he thinks that the pendulum of the supporting cast is Brandon Pajemski. Dude, this guy needs to go. God damn, man. I know this is going to be a very cynical thing to say, but good looks get you far in life.
Play.
Talked about a lot about the closer games throughout the year. Is there something that you are seeing in these late games that are tight that you all aren't doing that you need to do?
Not tonight. Tonight we executed really well. It's hard to believe that the game was decided on that call, on an air ball that hits the side of the backboard. And guys behind the bench told me that Moses got all ball. Everybody's tangled up. That to me, it better be a foul to decide the game on a play like that. So disappointing that we didn't get to go to overtime, because I thought our guys executed and did a great job in the last few minutes of giving ourselves a chance.
What did you see from Brandon tonight, especially in that fourth?
Phenomenal. Yeah, Brandon was great. Just really aggressive offensively and decisive, and penetrated. Got the ball into the paint. He was really, really good.
Steve, did they give you an explanation?
Really quickly, just to address this troll in the chat, Jojo, who writes, why do you talk to guys on their couch instead of guys that do it for a living? You must be new to this place. Hall of Famer Rick Barry is a very regular guest. Tim Hardaway was on the show 2+ months ago. He's coming back soon. I hope to get LJ Cryer on the show soon. Warriors legend Sleepy Floyd is going to come back on the show soon. I literally just interviewed that man right there, Steve Kerr, like 3 weeks ago. So nice try with the troll attempt. And simple rule for the chat: if you don't want to be banished, because this is a distraction, don't talk about me. Don't make me a part of your discussion. If you want to bash certain individuals with the Warriors, have at it. If you think Steve Kerr is a genius, have at it. If you think Kuminga's ass, have at it. Don't bring me into it. You're now distracting from the program, okay? It's not a hard rule. And let's hear the rest of Steve Kerr, and then we'll bring some more audience members on the show.
On that last call.
On which call?
On the foul call at the end, they say.
I don't know. I didn't. Yeah.
Jonathan obviously got a few more minutes tonight. What did you see from him?
He was good. We wanted him to get out there and use his speed and athleticism, set screens, dives. He had a good pass to Guy in the first half, from the pocket. And it's good to see him back out there. As I said, he's handled himself really well, this last week, and I wanted to reward that.
Just off night.
I'm sorry?
Just an off night.
Yeah, just an off night.
Draymond, 5 turnovers tonight. Just where do you feel like he's at offensively at this point in the season?
Yeah, he's trying too hard right now. He's such a competitor. He's trying too hard to make plays, and just needs to slow down a little bit. Thank you.
All right, that was Steve Kerr, and interesting that he finished up the interview by saying that he thinks Draymond is trying too hard, meaning he's forcing things. I'm sure that's going to go over very well with Draymond Green. Let's bring 2 people on the show at the same time. We'll go in chronological order. Slash and Chris Florida. I think Chris in Florida, you're new. Let's start with you. Is this your first time on the show?
Yeah, it is my first time. You can hear me okay?
I do, yeah, clearly. How are you doing?
Yeah, I've been watching for a long time. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
Of course. And Slash, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Chris, let's start with you since you're new. What's on your mind, brother?
Well, I just basically 100% agree with everything you've been saying this whole time. And I feel like more people need to be saying the Kuminga thing. That's kind of my main theme. I know there's a lot of hate for that and, 1 for 10 and all this kind of stuff. But I was actually watching the other broadcast, the Suns broadcast. And so it's really interesting to see that.
What's your takeaway from that? I love hearing people provide that perspective.
Yeah, so the color commentator was saying that he's been there before when you're playing, when you feel like people don't believe in you. So they can see that in Kuminga. They can see times where he should have dunked it, but he's trying to do the right thing. They actually said you can tell he's trying to earn his way back on the court. I like how Kerr said, nice to see him back out there again, like he's coming back from injury, like he didn't have control of the fact that he could have been playing this whole time. You know what I mean? And then it's like, I'm just hoping he does good because he's got to be freaking perfect. I have like a Pavlovian dog response to whenever I hear Pravjensky coming out there first because we knew Kuminga was going to be in this game. I know that Professor understands Pavlovian dog. I don't want to talk too much. I'll let the other gentleman talk. But, I just have like a post-traumatic stress reaction to hearing him out there. And it's kind of almost like fool's gold when he's hitting these shots because – listen, if the monster that Steve Kerr has created by giving him all this confidence is that he's going to be clutch in the clutch, then great, because clutch is underrated. That's one of the most important things at this level. But, he missed those free three throws in that one game. He was making these shots. If he's going to be clutch, he's going to be clutch. But I think when he plays good, we're seeing his ceiling. His athleticism is not going to get better. He's not going to all of a sudden start seeing the right side of the court. He's not going to all of a sudden start passing it to Kuminga. And I think that, he's not all of a sudden going to become Jamal Crawford with handles or anything like that. So we see his ceiling. We don't see Kuminga's ceiling yet because he's not getting these rhythm minutes that you've talked about many times. I'll be quiet for a second. Let the other gentleman talk.
You're so far you're doing damn good. Slash, how are you doing, man? What's on your mind? And what's your reaction to tonight's loss?
Man, every time I'm coming on here, it's a loss. No, look, Steve Kerr got to go.
Yeah.
Okay? That's really where we're at. Everybody knows it. I think Lakeup knows it too. Everybody knows it. You cannot have Steph Curry putting up, what is he averaging in this month? 30, 40-point games, almost a 50-point game in a loss. That can't happen. And I think what you saw from him tonight specifically was he's tired. I know when I can see it when Steph is tired, when he's just like, I can't physically do this. And it's not that obviously he almost dropped 50 the other night, but my thing is he needs help. He's got no help.
Right? And adding to that, I'm glad you brought that up because I thought the game plan this year for Stephen Curry was to keep his minutes at around 30, not to overuse them. We don't want another popped hammy like we saw in the postseason. And yet tonight he plays 33, right? And more specifically, it was closer to 33 minutes and 15 seconds. The previous games in December, the previous two, I'm looking at his game log right now. He played 35 in the loss in Portland. He played 32 in the loss in Minnesota. I also did not realize until just now that the Golden State Warriors are now mired in a 4-game losing streak. That's news to me. I had no clue that was going on. Sorry for not mentioning that until just now. So the Warriors are losers of 4 straight. But Stephen Curry in the month of December, he's averaging 34 minutes a game. And it's only 3 games, but he averaged 31 in November. That's, I thought, where they wanted to keep it at. 31.2 in October. So some consistency there. But to start the month of December, the minutes have gone up. And I'm with you. He looked like what we saw at the beginning of the season. Remember, like before he came down with the cold and a few games. He's looking like that again. And maybe it's as simple as what you're saying, Slash, that he's just being overused. Guy's turning 38 this year. Steve Kerr, just for whatever reason, I don't see the acknowledgement there that he's coaching an aging star who needs to be coddled a little bit. I don't see any of the coddling. I don't see any of the reduced minutes. I don't see support. Like playing Brandon Pajemski with them, That's not the answer. It's not the answer. But in Steve Kerr's mind, he thinks because Podziemski, his entire modus operatus out there is set screens for Steph, set screen up. I think that's why he's called the connector, because he's connecting Steph with all the good plays. That's what I'm getting. That's the impression I'm getting. But dude, pods ain't it, man. Chris, you came in here on fire, dude. You've been very astute so far. You sound sharp. What's your take on the Brandon Podziemski minutes? Because that to me is right at the top of the concerns in terms of the wrong players getting heavy minutes.
Yeah, I think that's he's getting a lot of run, so we're seeing that. Like I said, he knows he's going to get playing time, so we see him relax through the struggles. But if we could get someone, if Kuminga could get that same kind of playing time, like you said a million times, I'm going to repeat the things you said.
Repeat. It's okay. Yeah.
It's just that we'd seen it with confidence. We've seen it in those first 2 years. We've seen when the game slowed down earlier when he got those first 5 games. We know he can pass. I mean, you've made the good points about that. And, to Bruce's credit, to Damon, what is it? Bruce Damon?
It's Damon.
Yeah, actually, I was listening to him recently. He was actually reiterating a lot of the same points, so that's good. Gilles Arenas was talking about how they're messing with this guy's minutes. It reminds me of Jalen Rose when he had Larry Brown. He always talks about that story. Larry Brown was messing around with his minutes, and then Larry Bird came in and validated him.
And just to add to that real quick, sorry to interrupt for 1 second, Chris, but just adding to that, Gilbert Arenas' show with that, which oftentimes ends up with Kenny and Martin and Swaggy P, it really looks like they hate each other. Like, I think the hatred is genuine there. Makes for entertaining content, but it's also a little like awkward. Like it's almost, you feel embarrassed watching it. They're they're yelling. Like I feel sometimes like they're gonna just go straight to blows. Point is that show. They came out 2 days ago and said Kerr just needs to go. Like they flat out used the word fired in reference to Steve Kerr. So the tide is shifting in terms of momentum for Kerr support.
Yeah, they kind of make the good points right away, and then they kind of start arguing at each other when they're making the same points. So it's kind of like a rage bait, sort of outrage, sort of doing for clicks. I feel like they know what they're doing there. But it's good that they are voicing that they're messing with this guy's minutes. So stars are seeing the fact that Kuminga is a guy that, hey, if you give him the minutes, he's going to be awesome. And it's so funny how you've had to defend that over the years because he hasn't been getting minutes. And then in the beginning of the season, we saw these things. We saw the passing. We saw the moments. The things he does where he bodies somebody up and then just dunks on them, or the putback dunks. I mean, some of these things here, we know he's got the handle. But I think it's really what those other announcers were saying. He doesn't have the belief. He needs a Mark Jackson type. You remember when Steve Kerr's first year, Steph Curry does that amazing dribble against Chris Paul against the Clippers, and he goes back behind the three-point line and he hits that three, and you see Steve Kerr throw his hands up like, don't do that, and he goes, okay.
Iconic. That is an iconic NBA play, man. I 100% remember it.
Iconic. It's like
because Chris Paul at that time was known as being an all-time defensive player. So for and Steph at that point and Chris Paul, just to give people some context when that happened, like they were in competition for having the best point guard title in the NBA. And Chris Paul is like routinely making all defensive teams. And for Steph to just put him on skates like that, chef's kiss, dude. And by the way, Nick the Greek, thank you for correcting me. It was a 3-game losing streak for the Warriors. I was looking at a game log and not the actual Warriors schedule. So it's a 3-game losing streak, not a 4-game losing streak. And Chris and Julian Bashir is putting me in check, maybe by saying that I should not be saying Swaggy P. It's Swaggy P. The shua sound should not be applied. This is the first time I've ever been corrected on that. And if you're right, then I apologize. I did not know it's swaggy and not swaggy. Did you know that, Chris? Did you know that, Slash?
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't really care enough.
I didn't care at all, but I want to be correct. So, okay.
I just wanted to jump in and say that I watched the NBA Cup final, right? Knicks and Spurs, right? And Mike Brown did an incredible coaching job. And I bring this up specifically to say he knows how to use his players in spots and in moments and knows the exact people to have on the floor in certain times. And I bring this back to the final play. GP2 shouldn't have been out there. Why was GP2 out there? Okay? Why was GP2 out there?
For what, the last player or is the sixth man or both?
No, the one that caused the foul that ended. Why was GP2 out there?
Well, and just to add to that, Slash, I brought that up at the very beginning of the show. The closing five for that final possession, the game is tied 98 apiece. Phoenix has the ball. It's like 19, 20, 21 seconds left, something like that. Safe to say they're going to have the final possession, because unless they have an easy ass look, they're not going to put up a shot and give the Warriors a chance to tie or win the game. They're going to take the final shot. So ideally, what you'd want out there for your five players are not only your best defenders, but you also want some rebounding because of the situation we saw, right?
Yeah.
Get your goddamn board. It was a colossal mistake. And the five dudes that were out there, real quick, just to show you how Kerr had zero thought when it comes to size and rebounding. Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green were your two bigs, and they were surrounded with GP2, DeAnthony Melton, and Moses Moody. Why is Kuminga not in the game for that?
That doesn't make any sense. And
why isn't Trace Jackson Davis in the game for that? Why isn't Quentin Post, who everyone's raving about defensive rating and about that's the best part of his game?
Yeah.
Why isn't Quentin Post in the game at that point? That was absurd. You're absolutely right.
I know people are gonna say, wait, why is he saying this? But how I feel, honestly, is we can't really assess this team unless there's a coaching change.
Agreed.
Because everything that's happening is because of the coaching. Everything. Okay? It's not the players. It's not, yes, exactly. He's not good at situational things. There's no reason why GP2 should have been out there. You have Kuminga, you have Gee, you have Post. None of them are out there. Then you lose. At
a bare minimum, I wouldn't hate GP2 being out there if it was instead of DeAnthony Melton, or but or even instead of Moses, because GP2 that's I'm under the impression that's why GP2 is on this team, because of his defense, right? I don't think he's out there for his 3-point shooting, for his ball.
That's not the situation for GP2 defensively.
Fair.
How do I know that? I'm not a coach, right? I saw it, right? So I think, and again, I also want to say the Kuminga thing, people got to stop. All right, the man hasn't played in 3-4 games.
Yeah, 3 games.
What do you want him to do? You can see it, like the announcer said on the Suns broadcast. He's tentative. That's a broken man in terms of playing basketball for this team. He's too scared. I literally saw him try to drive to the basket, and he had to stop for a second because he's panicking out there. And the thing is, you and I both know, everybody knows this, when you have somebody that's tentative like that, that can lead to, a bad play here, a tweaked ankle, something, right? I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I'm saying you're putting him at risk.
Agreed. And Curry Flurry in the chat, a couple paid chats real fast here. Dropping $4.99, alluding to what we were talking about just a few minutes ago about the Phoenix Suns announcers and what they and this is it's the same theme from every visiting team, right? And when I say visiting, I mean the opposing team. Like same theme with the conversations when it comes to Kuminga or other young assets on this Warriors squad. Warriors fans who are Steve Kerr apologists who just want to take the cheerleading route and just be obedient, subservient individuals when it comes to the team, right? They'll just say, oh, Kuminga must not be good enough, right? Steve Kerr knows best. But for everyone else, they look at this and they're like, what's going on? Why is Kuminga getting a DNP? And adding to the fact that because he got DNP for three straight games, that when he didn't attack the rim, that one possession and he was passive, that's what happens when you don't give these guys a consistent run. They're going to look rusty sometimes. Their timing is going to be off. Curry Flurry dropping another $1.99 saying, did you see that pass? This was in the second quarter, if I remember correctly, when Kuminga found Guy Santos. It was beautiful. I remember that very vividly. And I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like Kuminga is trying to do everything Steve Kerr wants him to do. I just don't think anything's going to ever be good enough. It's just not going to work, man. We're in year 5. This is
if Lakeup cares, right? Which we know he does. He wants to win. Okay, that's why he responded to that email. That's why it got leaked, because he's trying to let everybody know, hey, you guys, what are we doing? Right? You got Steph Curry on the team, Hall of Famer, right? I just think there's no synergy on the team, right? There's no synergy, there's no chemistry, there's nothing, there's no culture.
Any final Chris, any final thoughts from either of you? Slash, I agree with everything you said. Same with you, Chris. You both came in with fantastic words. Chris, any final thoughts? And nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well. I mean, just to finish that point about that Curry shot, Kerr did that classic thing where he's like, no, don't take that. And then he hits it. And, it's that classic coach thing like, oh, no, like, okay. But it's like if he didn't have that Mark Jackson confidence already from Mark Jackson calling that, the greatest shooting backcourt of all time, then, Curry might have been affected by that. I could see Steve Kerr like pulling him. Oh, you're not playing right. So it's like Kuminga needs that sort of Mark Jackson, there goes that man kind of confidence, run plays for him, and then you're going to see some just awesome stuff, at that particular
Mark
point.
Jackson,
or at the very least, what's frustrating is we don't know what we have. It's so obvious they're probably going to trade him, and we don't know what we have. What are you going to actually get in a trade?
Exactly.
That also begs
value.
What's going on here? But that begs a bigger question, right? Let's say that the trade is the direction they're going to go. Is it going to make a difference?
Right.
Like, is this Warriors team good enough to give up Kuminga for some sort of role player, some sort of asset that is designed to help you now, not a year from now, like now? Is it worth it? Because I don't think Steph, Jimmy, and Dre can carry a team anywhere. That's what I'm seeing in 2025, 2026. I don't think those three are good enough. Like, they need help. And if you're not going to trade Kuminga for real serious help, what are you doing? All you're doing is just moving on from an asset to get a role player that's going to be worthless 6 months from now. This is a bad spot. This is a very bad spot.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I'm sad the real B. Leesy's not broadcasting anymore during the games because he's frustrated. Because we were making the same point. We already got a 4 thing going here. Okay.
I brought you because really Leesy's right there. I brought him on. Why not?
Yes, sir.
Salute to everybody, man.
What's good?
Slash. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna bounce you. Is that okay?
Okay. Can I say?
All right, brother. Have a good night, Slash. Take it away, E. Leezy.
Salute, Side, Chris. Salute, Slash, everybody. The 2 brothers that came on earlier with the Fire Steve Kerr handle.
Yes.
I told my audience that I wasn't gonna stream these games because it's so. I'm like the most passionate person. I'm the most competitive person. It's hard to commentate and do play by play when it's just a bad brand of basketball. And I'm watching this stuff unfold, and I'm like, here we go again. And it's a broken record. I am so tired of all of this. And I just need to say this. We keep saying the email and all of this. That was done by design.
Maybe.
I hope so.
Don't y'all remember a couple years ago when Steve Kerr, or I think last season, Steve Kerr said there's at least 2 fights on this team every year. And I was like, wow. So y'all just happened to record the one between Draymond and Jordan Poole, which led to breaking up our damn dynasty, which we could have had intact with Wiggins. Still could have had Looney because Looney, Wiggins, and Jordan Poole was tight. And we could have still been competing for a championship. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you leaked that, and now this email is leaked. Do y'all pay attention to how this stuff works? These politics. This is like the WWE at its finest. And I've been saying that for years. The NBA is just a joke. Like, it's like, what are we doing? Like, think about this. Mike Malone led Denver to their first NBA championship. He gets fired literally 4 days before the damn playoffs start. We talking about a Hall of Fame coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then Let's go to Mike Brown. Mike Brown, we was a top 5 defense under his assistant coaching duties for damn near 10 years straight. And we got championships out of it. Then he goes to Sacramento, which they're a dumpster fire, and they don't know what the hell they doing. He leads them to their first playoff berth in damn near a decade. And he win coach of the year. He gets fired. So you mean to tell me that Steve Kerr is pulling all of this shit, but he gets to keep his job? That makes absolutely zero fucking sense. That doesn't make any sense. And then he publicly comes out every other press conference. I need to do a better job coaching. I need to do this. I need to do that. And then he hits you with the, oh yeah, man, we were playing real good in that stretch last season, and then 30-some games last season with Jimmy Butler. No shit, Sherlock. You had a favorable schedule. You played a bunch of injured teams in the midst of all of that. And then look what you're doing this season. Where's all of that shit you talking about last season? Where's that right now? It's like, come on, man. The dude is delusional. And we're going to come on here every damn day and we're going to say the same exact things. And guess what? Our dumbass organization, they're not going to do anything. Hell, they didn't even want to make no trades last year. Mike Dunleavy, until they put pressure on him. And what did he do? He went to go get a disgruntled Jimmy Butler in Miami. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
well, just to provide some context there, Mike Dunleavy Jr., excuse me, and Jimmy Butler actually have a history. Jimmy and Dunleavy Jr. played together. They were teammates
in Chicago. I remember. Yes, I remember.
And so that was even though it sounds kind of weird to say that it helped with Jimmy coming here, it did. That was a huge reason why Dunleavy targeted Jimmy Butler.
I know, but guess what, Si? Y'all remember Jimmy Butler said he didn't want to come to the Warriors. He actually wanted to go to Phoenix.
Yeah, I know.
That's what his destination was.
Who knows if that was genuine, though, or if it was just a negotiating tactic. But he did say that. You are correct, yes.
But it's just like, what are we doing? Like, we're older. We're more injury prone. And our young guys are G League material. Can we get some real NBA talent out here? I mean, we got JK, but I'm tired of talking about. I already know what JK is, but they're not going to let JK be JK. They're stunting the man's growth. Year 5.
Why not Will Richard, man? Why not Seth Curry? Like, why are those two at the end of the bench?
Will Richard, Seth Curry, Al Horford, Jonathan Kuminga, and DeAnthony Melton. Those are our big key off-season acquisitions. They don't even play together. Right. Shit, I don't know when the hell Al Horford gonna play again. What do we get his ass for? He might as well retire with his championship.
And even if he's healthy, Leezy, like, do you want to play him?
No, because his defense is terrible. He doesn't protect the rim, and he's not really shooting great from the outside. So what kind of impact is he having on the court? None. It doesn't make any sense. This shit is crazy, man. Like Steve Kerr, and our assistants are even garbage. What the hell like Jerry Stackhouse did?
You got to trademark none. By the way, GP2 has a no trade clause. I just learned that. And I'm doing my best to make a trade. Someone in the chat asked, can we get Klay Thompson back? And I'm trying to make it work.
I'm tired of going in reverse. Can we put that motherfucker in drive and just leave it stuck in drive? Come on, man. What are we doing?
I wasn't going to give up anything important. They asked if he could trade Buddy Hield for him. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I can roll with that.
But you have to understand, we're trading for Megan Thee Stallion too, not just Klay Thompson. That's a huge damn distraction. I don't want that dude over here with that dude. It's 2 dudes. You're bringing 2 dudes over here. We don't need them. Keep them.
Chris, have a great night, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right, brother. Yeah,
absolutely. And I love your Brent Barry take on the coach, because I think I was watching The Awful Coaching. He's this rare form of comedy. Obviously, it comes down to talent is the reason why the teams win the championship, but they're all playing the same awful defense. But the thing is there's ego involved with all this. They got to have belief. You got to buy in. So, I think Brent Barry's a champion.
I like him.
That's why I like that. That's what they need, is they need somebody who they can believe in that's going to play these guys that need to play. I wish I could take over Kerr's consciousness, that's already there. I daydream about this, play awful coaching's defense, play the right guys, with Kerr. Like, wow, Kerr really started to figure this out, and I'm passionate too. That's why I miss real easy there doing the live stuff. I know Larry Krueger recently said he doesn't talk to you anymore because you yelled at him or something like that.
Is that what he said? He said that on his show?
He said that on this. I'm not talking out of school here because it was public. I happened to catch it because I'm obsessed with trying to find content. And I happened to randomly find that for like 1 minute. And
was this recent or a while ago?
Recent. This was like this week. He says, I don't talk to Cy anymore because they were defending Kerr. Kerr's a great coach and all this kind of stuff. And so it's unfortunate. I think I've seen some of the yell stuff. I think people have talked, said that to you before. But, you get passionate. And, if it's a business negotiation, the calmer guy wins.
Well, I'm going to reach out to him right after this show. I mean, that's news to me. I thought we were cool. I didn't know he was saying that publicly. Look, part of the reason I was as impassioned as I was to provide some full context for what went down in the specific moment. Like, our two shows were dual streaming that night, right? It wasn't just the Krug show and I was on as a guest. We were dual streaming this as the Krug show and Golden Days. And when you do that, like the streams, the chats also merge. And you have like 3 or 4 people in his chat that I have no control over, just bashing me endlessly in this chat. And Krug just lets it go. Like, he lets racist shit go. Like, and that's where him and I have a very strong difference of opinion and philosophy in terms of like how to run a show. Like he doesn't give a shit if someone just, says N-words and does shit like that. I do. And I draw a line there. But anyway, so the chat, his chat's like attacking me, and I'm not just arguing with Larry. I'm arguing with Larry and Dan, his one of his sidekicks, as part of his little zoo crew, and we're sitting here having a debate, and I'm trying to yell over 2 people. I also have this chat where like 3 or 4 trolls are just constantly going at me, and Larry's just enabling it, and so I had to like raise my voice, but I also thought Larry was a grown man. I didn't know like he had this sensitive ego that can't handle someone's voice level being raised. God forbid that happens in this crazy world. Jesus Christ, man. Like, maybe Larry and I are done. I don't know. And I don't care. If he wants to go down that route where he's going to talk shit about me on the show, like, we can start that war, because there are skeletons in that man's closet where I can fucking ruin his life in 2 seconds. What you see with me is what you get. There are no secrets. That motherfucker has a lot of secrets. And if that's what he wants to do, is start talking about me on his show, well, let's go there, man. I'm going to reach out to him right after this, because I am not happy about hearing that at all.
Well, I didn't mean to create that. It's just a weird streaming world where you say stuff publicly that maybe should have been said privately, and then you don't
hear me bad mouthing Larry. I mean, so if he's bad mouthing me, we're gonna have to have a conversation about that right away.
He said it lightly. He just said, he yelled at me, kind of thing. It was Tom Tolbert on with them, and they were defending Kerr as a great coach. And I think part of your passion is that it needs to be said. And I reiterate what the Fire Kerr guys were saying, that this might be good that they're on the 3-game losing streak, that they got the losing going on, the email, because maybe this will be the difference now that we start to see. Hopefully Dunleavy and Lacob are smart enough to know that it wasn't Kuminga that ruined that game. I'm sure Kerr's like, he was 1 for 5. Well, that's why we lost. Hopefully they're smart enough to go, he didn't get enough run. And so things start to change. But I think he said it kind of light, and it's a weird streaming world where things are.
Well, I thought it was weird to begin with that him and Tolbert even did a dual stream. I get it. They used to host a show together. I saw that the other day, but like Larry and I have been talking about doing a dual stream again soon. And his idea was to do a post-game show. Because that's what he wants to do. He's like, if we're going to do another dual stream, because he never watches. I think it's pretty audacious for anyone to have a strong opinion about something that you know little about, right? That to me is kind of funky. And if you're going to be a professional in any field, that's where I guess the adage "stay in your lane" kind of comes into play. And like, you're not going to sit, like, I'm not going to sit here and yell about Brock Purdy, because I don't watch the Niners enough, man. I don't know enough to understand the intricacies there to have like profound opinions. But Larry, and if you watch those back and forths that we had, he does not observe the Warriors with a stringent manner. Like, he's not a dedicated married to this, where he's like paying attention to every little thing going on. So in his mind, he's got this like casual observation that, well, Steve Kerr has 4 championships, and so he should stay as the head coach. And I mean, while watching all the intricacies of this, I'm watching this man just completely derail every young player's career who comes through this organization. Larry also, and again, this is where sometimes perspective matters. Larry has a perspective of a very privileged individual. I don't. All right. So I've had shitty bosses like Steve Kerr, and that's a little, I get how Kuminga feels, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I'm a little surprised that Larry does not. And maybe that's where the privilege thing comes in. I don't know. But that dude's had a lot of shit handed to him his whole life. I've had nothing handed to me my whole life. So our perspectives are a little different. But look, I'm not sitting here ever talking about Larry until now, because I thought we had a better respect than that. Tolbert, who's a flat out dick. I used to be his producer. He's an incredibly aloof individual. He's the kind of guy that never talked to his producers, and he rolls like that because he thinks he's better than them. There was a clip of him and Steve Kerr the other day. I'll pull this up right now just to highlight this. In terms of Tolbert and how out of touch he is, and how much of an arrogant prick he can be. And unfortunately, if what I'm hearing is true from you about Larry, it sucks. Because Larry's name is never coming out of my mouth on this show other than anything positive until now. And if he's sitting there saying like he's butthurt because my voice went up, like, are you out of your effing mind? I still think it was incredibly unprofessional for him to bail on a show midway. All right, you're a grown man in your fucking 50s, and you can't handle me. Like your ego's so fragile that because your producer pushed back on you, like you can't handle that. Like get the hell out of here, man. Grow up. Jesus Christ. And this is, again, I'm going to play this clip real fast just to show you how out of touch the Tolbert Steve Kerr operation is. Here it is right here. This was Tolbert and Steve Kerr when Kerr went on Tolbert's show like 2 weeks ago. And I do think it's interesting that Steve Kerr is doing these kinds of interviews when he normally does it. And it also goes to show again that Tolbert is very chummy with them. But listen to this. In case you do not believe me when I say that these two are out of touch individuals, listen to this clip and then sit here and tell me if you still feel the same.
For sure. But I do wish, like you're saying, I wish the officials had a little more leeway to just use some feel instead of having to make everything black and white.
Yeah. And of course, everybody's a fucking expert now on social media. Yeah. Like they show the highlights, they break everything down for you, whether it's football, baseball, basketball. I mean, so many people do this, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up. But the problem.
And I'm saying, Tom, you shut the fuck up. What the hell do you know? You're a big oaf. The only reason you play basketball is because you're a 6'5", 6'6" monster of a human being. I don't remember you ever having talent out there. You were there for size. And your size was good under Nelly Ball. You were the center for Don Nelson's tiny little teams that insanely were watching again. Anyway, sorry, that alone was just ridiculous.
The problem is there's so many thousands of people that believe these people because they didn't play either. So they don't know. They don't know. They don't know. It's like they don't know leading they know less.
Right. But you're a big oaf who, like, entirely because of your size. Side note, Tolbert didn't do shit in the NBA, but because you were just this 6'5", 6'6" oaf who had size, you're suddenly an expert. A side note, I've heard plenty of stupid shit come out of this guy's mouth, but apparently to Tom Tolbert's views and Steve Kerr's views, people shouldn't have voices. These are the experts. These are the gatekeepers of NBA information. That's what the message I'm getting from this clip.
It sounds like he knows what he's fucking talking about. And I'm looking going, this guy's a fucking moron.
You are the moron.
Talking about. You kidding me? He's got like 800,000 followers. I'm like, God, what a fuck. I go, if we could put all those followers on a fucking island and then sink it, we'd be better off. Trust me.
Right, because Tom Tolbert epitomizes genius, because Tom Tolbert's voice should be heard. The only reason he's butthurt because KNBR fired him. He's irrelevant now. His channel is doing okay. He doesn't sniff ours, but it's doing okay. But this is someone who's entirely living off his name. This is someone who epitomizes the term aloof. Doesn't give a shit about anyone else. That's how he treated all his producers. He only has one relationship with a former producer. That's the one who's producing his show now. That's it. Everyone else, like, he just didn't give a fuck about. That's how Tom Tolbert rolls. He's an asshole.
Everybody's got a voice now, Tom. Everybody's got a voice.
Problem is, everyone doesn't need a voice. Everyone does not need a voice. But anyway, I'll say that. I'll say it for you.
And I'll say it. You shouldn't have a voice, Tom. You're a fucking asshole. And that's the clip. That's a clip of two people who think they're smarter and better than everyone else.
Well, I agree with your passion and real, Leezy and Cy, I really hope I didn't create a Gilbert Arenas kind of drama here. To quote another Jalen Rose.
Let it. I'll tell you what, man. There will be no drama because those pussies would rather hide than actually have a conversation with me. There will be no drama. They'll hear about this. Let them. I don't give a shit. I'll call Larry after the show. I don't care what time it is, and let him know specifically. My audience is coming in here telling me you're talking about me, saying that you're, God forbid, butthurt because I yelled at you. Motherfucker canceled a show, bailed on his show. That is public, and somehow he has the higher moral ground. Are you out of your mind?
They didn't like
Jesus
how you didn't like
Christ,
Kerr. They were
dude.
defending Kerr. He said it kind of light and about the yelling at him and stuff like that. I just don't want the Jalen Rose quote. If you get jammed up, don't mention my name. I don't want to. But it was public. That's what's weird about it. It wasn't like I heard this secondhand.
Yeah, that's what exactly.
So
I mean, thanks for the press, I guess, but it's like what are you doing here, man? If you had an issue, Larry Krueger, with that specific episode, why didn't you say something to me afterwards? Why didn't you say something to me when I was on your show a week later? What, dude? That is not professional, man. Larry Krueger, a trust fund baby from the city whose mom and dad did everything.
Oh my God.
For him. He got his job on KNBR because of connections. He got everything because of shit handed to him. And now this asshole has the audacity to criticize me publicly. What a mother effer, dude. And Tolbert especially. Like, if Tolbert knew all the shit Larry said about him behind his back, dude, I could burn that man if I wanted to. I'm not going to. But the audacity.
Take the high road, Cy. Take the high road, baby.
I will. I'm not going to go that far, but that's fucked up. That is just fucked up. I really don't like that. Chris, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Of course. And I'm on your side, man, because I feel like this is just a Greek tragedy I'm sure there's some Greek tragedy that exemplifies what's going on with Kerr. He's coming off of, it was beautiful. He's got the greatest 3-point shooting percentage of all time. When he took over that team with Clay and Steph, it was beautiful basketball. That's what got me hooked. But it's the miracle of Steph Curry, and we're never going to see this again. It's Steph Curry. That's what's frustrating because we want to see him get another championship. And now I feel like he's coming up against that thing where you don't want to be told what to do. So he's got like a rebel response, and he's just not mentally seeing things clearly anymore. I'm sure there's like a King Lear or something that exemplifies when someone just loses the plot towards the end. So that's I support you in saying this message, because you would hope that him being under Popovich and them doing the 2 timeline thing, he would have been able to figure out how he could preserve, because I agree with the other homeboy that says this is injury ball they're playing, that he would be able to preserve these. I think Melton's knee's just going to pop off every time he's putting them out there too much. You know what I mean? This guy was injury prone before he came back from an ACL. And now you got him out there like way too much because of what he did when you still had Wiggins at that time as well. That's another thing. Yeah. It's not even the same team when they were playing that 11-2 run last year. And so, it's just he's not seeing it clearly right now. And I hope Lacob sees it and somebody can believe in him and we can get the right team out there and just see what we got. If it fails, it fails. But I'd like to see what we got. Everybody says we don't got the players anymore, but I'm like, nah, if we played the size, listen, I'm a Jordan guy and I'm not comparing anybody to Jordan. There is no Jordan, but I've seen times with Kuminga in the air, when you talk about the lateral, the vertical spacing, I've seen times in the air where he's doing stuff that's like, man, if he could get comfortable with some of those aerial things, oh my God,
Yeah.
All
right, brother.
And just think, we don't run plays for JK. He had a nice little pull-up midi in the middle of the lane, cash. He knew it was cash too, because he turned around as soon as he shot it. It's that type of stuff. If we can get him to where he's taking less dribbles, to where he can get you with a face up, hit you with a midi or a little side step, those are the plays we need to put him in more. I don't want him dribbling, trying to create. He's not Iguodala. He's not Draymond Green. He's JK. 100%. He has supreme quickness, first step athleticism, and he has a nice little mid-range jumper. He's not a three-point shooter. Can he make three-point shots? Yes, but he's a rhythm three-point shooter. He's not a standstill catch and shoot three-point shooter. So they're really just trying to turn him into somebody that he's not, and they're not utilizing his skill set and what he's great at. You know what I'm saying? Putting him in the dunker spot. Remember when Draymond Green used to always catch it on that rim run, and he just throws it up, not even looking. He throw it up because he knows somebody at the rim. That's what we need to put Jonathan Kuminga in the dunker spot. 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like run some banana cuts for him or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Some straight dives to the rack. But we don't use them like that.
But Leezy, that would require Steve Kerr to do some work.
Yeah.
You're asking for too much, man. You're asking for too much. I mean,
I know.
I follow you, but that means Steve Kerr would actually have to take a break from fantasy basketball. He'd have to stop binging White Lotus for the third time and do some work. And look, his own teammates, his own players, Boogie Cousin, Dennis Rodman, publicly call the dude out as being lazy. And I've heard that like it's a weird catch-22 situation because on one hand, the laid-back approach, players love it, right? He's not micromanaging them. He lets you do what you want for the most part. But then on the other hand, when you have a bunch of young players who need coaching, now it's being exposed. Now the laissez-faire, like chill attitude, not to mention, it's not really that chill when your decisions are directly impacting certain individuals, costing them hundreds of millions of dollars on the process, and your team wins. Not really that chill, even though you're coming off as such. It sucks, man. You're right.
Did you listen to him real quick? Did you listen to him say, I wanted to reward Jonathan Kuminga from the way he's been handling this situation? Are you out of your effing mind, homie? Really? That was a slap in the face to JK, in my opinion. But Draymond Green get the average 100 turnovers. Brandon Podjemski get the average 0.8 assists. And he get to play 30 minutes and let his defender run straight Speedy Gonzalez straight by him. And Jimmy Butler's defense is horrible too. We just it's a bunch of horrible basketball being played on all fronts. So, I mean, and Steph Curry, I told y'all this at the beginning of the season, Steve Kerr going to injure Steph Curry. You keep running. He's about to be 38, father of time, unless you're LeBron and taking that special juice, allegedly. Father of time always wins. Steph Curry body is going to start giving. It's going to start breaking down. He needs to be a decoy and not a primary number one. You have to save Steph Curry from himself because Steph still think that he can go out there and be, MVP Steph Curry. But he can't do that. Not with impact, I would say. The impact isn't there. You know what I'm saying? He'll impact the game as a solid number two, but you're going to lose. If you want Steph Curry to be your number one, it's going to be a lot of L's coming through that door. I'm telling people this. People don't be understanding.
No, you're right. And that's why, again, this approach just can't work. And it also makes me wonder if a trade is just trying to get fool's gold. Like, what are you trading for? Like, 100%. Who are you going to get that's going to magically, give this team? What Steve Kerr has to do if he's going to salvage this is treat Kuminga like Greg Popovich treated Kawhi Leonard. 100%. That's your only hope, man.
100%.
And Steve Kerr apparently is never going to do that. And I don't think Steve Kerr has it in him to do that. He's never coached. Greg Popovich toiled as an assistant for years, right before he became a head coach. Phil Jackson toiled as an assistant for years before he became a head coach. Steve Kerr was just handed this shit. And he got handed an unbelievable team, and it was great for a while. But now when he actually has to coach,
we're seeing GM Kerr.
For good reason,
We're seeing GM Kerr now with the minute distribution.
Chris, come back, dude. You're really sharp, even though you totally you got me riled up because of the Larry thing. But that was
my bad.
No, it was good content. It was good content. I like it.
Hey, salute to Oaktown in the chat too. A couple of my subscribers are in the chat, so salute to all my people, man.
Really, Leezy, you're awesome. Any final words from you as well? I want to get a few more people on before.
Salute, Cy. I mean, we could hook up and do a stream, a collab, man. You know what I'm saying? And we could call it down the middle, or you know what I'm saying, whatever. But
I do know what you're saying. Say when.
Whenever. I don't know about the Phoenix game. We might have to try to catch the next game after the Phoenix game.
Just email me. My email address is very public. It's right here. Warriors24pod@gmail.com. I read them all. Yeah, okay. So just shoot me an email, dude, or just DM me on one of the socials. We'll connect.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
got you. I got
really easy.
Hey, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and donate to Cy, y'all.
Thanks, brother. Thank you. Dude, that really disappoints me, man. And I'll be real. I'll be completely real with you on this front. I worked at KNBR for 10 years. 10 years of my life I gave to that place. And the first 2/3 of it, I had a boss who was awesome. This guy's name was Bob Agnew. He was just anybody who's worked in this industry a long time is familiar with the guy. Just a short, stocky, like pit bull type dude, very loud, abrasive, but he was always real with you, right? And I learned from him because I started at KNBR, I think it was 20 or 21 when I started working there. And I learned from him right away, like that to be a good boss in this world, it involves being straight, being just direct and honest with people. Even if they're not going to like the answer, at least they will know where they stand, and then they can make decisions based off that instead of having a prick of a boss who misleads you, who lies to you, who is passive aggressive toward you. Well, Bob Agnew in 2007 got fired from KNBR along with an individual named Tony Ryan. If you may be familiar with him, he's doing that show with Paulie Mack right now, and Larry Krueger. And it broke my heart because when that happened, Larry was I was producing Larry's show. I was a senior producer. It was like the nighttime slot. And I love that job, man. It really upended a lot of people's lives. And Tony Ryan got fired. My boss got fired. And again, this was back in like 2007. It was a long ass time ago. I doubt any of you remember it or know about it. It's in the news if you ever want to Google it. But I bring all this up because Larry got fired for criticizing Felipe Alou, the then manager of the San Francisco Giants. And it was such a political bullshit thing where the Giants kind of set him up, and like he got fired because behind the scenes, a PR person printed out a transcript of Larry's words and circled this one part that they knew would offend Felipe Alou. Felipe Alou gets this transcript like days after the show. He flips out. He goes on ESPN and calls Larry Krueger the devil. So Tony Ryan was producing the morning show. And the very next day after that, he plays a clip of Dana Carvey doing the church lady skit on Saturday Night Live. You know, you go, Satan, right? And the company during that time was in a transition from its former parent company owners, Susquehanna, and they were transitioning to the current owner, Cumulus. And so this story started to blow up, and Larry lost his job because of it, partly political, partly because he made a comment that a lot of people inferred as being racist. I didn't agree with that at all, by the way, and it was not racist, but a lot of people got offended nonetheless, Felipe Alou included. Tony Ryan got fired for playing a clip on the morning show, and my boss, Bob Agnew, got fired because of political reasons. It was a really shitty circumstance. But I bring it up because of the hypocrisy from Larry to literally like lose his job over ripping a coach to now ripping on me because I'm ripping the Warriors coach. What is going on here? And then Tony Ryan, if you guys want to know the truth, I don't care anymore. What I've learned since I left KNBR and all these like these friendships that I thought were real, and I'm learning now were utter bullshit, because pretty much everybody who was a part of that radio station who was talent has the most massive, ridiculous ego imaginable. They all think they're special. They all think they're hot shit. None of them have a journalistic approach to their work. Like, they don't think that way. They like their mindset is mostly, what do I got to do to make money and save my career? That's what they're thinking, right? I bring this up because another person that I thought was a very close friend, just so many phonies and fakes in this industry, man. And I thought I was out, dude. Like the only thing I'll give Locked On credit for is pulling me back in to this business. And thankfully we have this show now because of it. And I absolutely love this. And I love connecting with the audience and doing all this. But Tony Ryan is currently doing a show. And Tony Ryan, by the way, got his creative director position entirely because of me. I left and passed the baton to that son of a bitch who was unemployed and out of the industry. I single-handedly got him a job that ended up paying him 6 figures and gave him a career back in radio for nearly 20 years. And what I'm rewarded for is Paul McCaffrey, the last time I go on his show, sends me a text message that goes, dude, can you not go in so hard on Kerr? Literally like 10 minutes before I go on Paul McCaffrey's show. It was like the first week he launched his Paulie's Particles show. And that's literally what he writes to me. Dude, can you not go that hard on Kerr? And I was like, what? And you know, and we had a little back and forth text. I was like, fine, you know what? I'm supposed to be on your show in like 5 minutes. I don't want to make things dramatic. So I rolled along with it. But my point is it's a pathetic scene, man. It's pathetic and it's sad. The lack of integrity is sad. The hypocrisy is sad. It's just nobody is authentic. Nobody is at all. At least the people I worked with were genuine. And they're cowardly too. They're just big pussies. Sorry to say that so crassly, but I don't know what better way to label anyone who either runs away from a show midway through it, which is what Larry did, just left, just literally just did this. That's what Larry Krueger did to me in that show. Frank Red sitting there going like, what is going on? Dan Coach Emilio sitting there going, what's going on? And Larry did that because he has a big ass ego and he couldn't handle someone who apparently I wasn't kissing his ass big enough, well enough. And he just bails. And then we talk it out. I come back on his show. We were just literally messaging each other last week, talked a few weeks ago. And then I find that he's fucking bad-mouthing me publicly. I just, F everybody, man. F at least everybody that I used to work with who was on the on-air side, because all of them are just pieces of shit. That's what I'm coming to the realization of it. And maybe that, look, whatever, man. That's very disappointing. That's very disappointing. That bums me out tremendously that he did that. And this is how I know it's going to go. I'm going to call him after the show ends. I'm going to go, what's your deal, dude? Like, why didn't you tell me that what happened that day upsets you so much that you got to bring it up again with Tom Tolbert publicly? God forbid I offend your buddy, Steve Kerr. I've never seen another coach in this market get this kind of treatment in my life. I don't think Bill Walsh had media members kissing his ass the way people do Steve Kerr. I mean, wasn't Bruce Bochy, who was a 3-time champion with the Giants, wasn't he blown out like just a few years after the last title? Dude, it's craziness, man. I'm very disappointed in that. That bums me out, dude, because like I'm a loyal dude. Like I like, to me, if you're a friend of mine, like we're in it to the end, dude. Like you're a brother. And that's to realize the true colors of people. Excuse me. Never stops being disappointing. And sorry to make this not about the Warriors. Let's bring Jeek 75 in the show. If I'm pronouncing your name correctly, is it Jeek? Is it Jik? How do you Gick? How do you pronounce that?
No, it's GHJK 75.
How do you pronounce that though? Enunciate. How do you enunciate that?
No, it's just GH. It's an acronym. GHJK.
Oh, is it? Okay, gotcha. What does it stand for?
Yeah, I guess GHJK. What is GHJK?
I don't know what the H is, or something. Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, God help Jonathan Kuminga.
Ah, I like it. G. What's on your mind, brother?
You mentioned something very interesting recently. You said Kerr needs to transition to JK like the Spurs transition to Kawhi. My question to you is, what did Duncan have to do in order to make that possible?
He didn't have to do a thing. Popovich just understood what needed to be done, and he did it. And look, eventually it fell apart. I mean, he lost Kawhi eventually, but at least he got a championship out of him. I mean, a lot more than can be said for Kerr and Kuminga.
For sure, but do you feel like Duncan kind of took a step back offensively to make room for Kawhi and give him more shots?
The vibe I got with Duncan and Pop is very similar to Steph and Steve Kerr. Like case in point, at the 2013 NBA Finals when Ray Allen hit that dagger three that essentially won the championship for the Miami Heat. If you remember that play. And this has always been like a huge point of criticism I have for Greg Popovich. He pulled Tim Duncan out of the game. Very similar to tonight, where instead of having a rebounder in there, Greg Popovich thought he was being slick and took Duncan out of the game with seconds remaining, thinking that that having smaller, more athletic wing type players playing defense is the smarter move than leaving Duncan out there, who, side note, is considered one of the greatest defensive bigs in NBA history. But again, Greg Popovich made a massive blunder, took Duncan out. LeBron James puts up that three-point attempt, misses it, and the rebound that Duncan, I feel, would have grabbed instead is a loose ball that ends up in the hands of Ray Allen, and Ray Allen hits that three, and the rest is history. My point is, Tim Duncan, even after that, did not badmouth his head coach. Tim Duncan, after that, just stayed loyal to Greg Popovich. He trusted him, and he had faith in him. And Greg Popovich learned from that mistake. I never saw Popovich do that ever again, right? And which shows that he's a smart person. Smart people don't repeat mistakes. That's why there is value in mistakes. You learn from them, hopefully, and then you grow as an individual. And so the relationship is very similar, I think, with Steph and Steve Kerr. It's just Steph is dude, his life is in a bubble, right? And whereas I criticize a lot of people who have a life like that, and I've accused them before of being, let's say, like out of touch. Look at Stephen Curry is a bona fide superstar. So Stephen Curry is going to go down as one of the greatest players in the history of this game. If anyone's earned the right to live in a secluded bubble, it's Steph. He's got 4 kids, amazing wife, incredible family, got a media venture. He's still playing basketball. I don't think he has the time and the resources to worry about the mistakes Steve Kerr is making. That attribution we heard last week of Steph, where I forgot who the media member was. I think it was Nick Friedel, who brought up the fact that they've had 9 different starting lineups in 9 games. And you saw Stephen Curry's reaction to that. He was kind of like taken aback, like, what? Like he didn't realize it. And then it's what I'm trying to say here is Steph has the same trust in Steve Kerr, I think, that Tim Duncan has had in Greg Popovich. Unfortunately for Steph, I don't think he has the same level of competency in his head coach that Tim Duncan had in his, because again, Greg Popovich learned and they won the championship the next year, which was an unbelievable accomplishment. I don't know if that's happening here, man.
Yeah, no, I think that's very fair. And Steve definitely takes a lot of cues from Greg Popovich. And I do see a lot of similarities between Duncan and Steph. The one thing I do think that is different, and a lot of people say, oh, the Warriors, they could have had more rings, if they did this or that. I think what gets in the way of potential is more so personality than it is talent. And I think with Steph, I think he was really bothered by not winning those finals MVPs. And I think that they're playing a style of basketball that makes that outcome more likely, rather than just playing basketball. And I think Duncan was not concerned with winning finals MVP at all. And I think catering to Steph, making sure that he's happy. I think the Warriors are more concerned about making sure he retires as a Warrior than they are with winning a championship, because long term, that's what matters more than anything, is making sure Steph Curry retires as a Warrior. Win, lose, or indifferent. I mean, you want to make sure that you cement that legacy. You have them coming back. You're able to sell things into the, I don't know how long, but I see the Warriors like the Cowboys, unfortunately, moving forward, where, they're just going to sort of, it's going to be a lot of mediocrity and thinking about the old days and selling at it, but you have to lock that in. You need Michael Irvin to come back. You need Emmitt Smith to come back. You need, people to say glowing things about the Cowboys in the media. Like, you need to keep that relationship strong. So that's, I think, what's going on more than anything, is they're trying to, it's a lot of just business moves. And, like you're saying, Steph kind of earned this, and the Warriors earned this. So the fans you kind of got to give Steve Kerr a little bit of a break, because he's juggling a lot of these different business agendas along with basketball agendas. And that's super, super tough, especially because, like, you have to keep Steph on the team. Steph's not playing for any other coach, and you have to keep him on the team. So yeah, you're just gonna have to figure it out and give him a little grace. Give him a little grace. He might make better decisions. Who knows?
I hope so. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. Where are you based on this blue planet of ours?
I'm from Union City, but I live in Oakland now.
Logan High.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How do you like in Oakland?
Not the best, but we're making it. We're making it work.
Dude, Oaktown's beautiful, brother. I saw a survey recently, or I don't know what it was, but it was an article that stated that Oakland, California has the best weather in the world. So you got that going.
Oh, for sure. I believe that 100,000%.
Dude, when I was young, this just goes to show how much times have changed. Like when we were in high school, and I was going to a shitty high school in the suburbs in Pleasanton, and every time we needed to buy weed, we drive and get off. I think Golf Links is what we got off, and we ultimately would end up around 92nd. And if we actually ended up with real marijuana, we were so stoked. because I feel like every other visit it'd be basil or just some funky ass shit. And what are you going to say to these guys, right? Like you're a high school kid. they're so intimidating. You're just like, here's my money. I'll take whatever you give me. But I don't know if that still exists in Oakland. Maybe it does. I don't know, but
you don't have to worry about it. It's Schedule 3 now, so you can just go to the store pretty soon.
The craziest thing is like this was, I think, the proposition that legalized weed in California. I think that passed in like 95. But it took so long before like you actually had dispensaries and you have to deal with all the shady dealers anymore and stuff like that. Anyways, I don't know why I went down that path. Yeah.
I'm gonna spark up just for you, just for you.
Thank you, and I'll be right with you in about 10 minutes when we wrap up. GHJK, join me. Come back, will you?
No, for sure.
All right, brother. Have a great night. A Bay Area represent. I like that. 2 more audience members, and then we'll call it a night. And then I'm going to call Larry Krueger and see if he'll run away again, or if he'll actually have a conversation with someone who I thought was a friend for 25 years. I'm really like rattled by that. Julian Bashir, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Just want to bring some different takes so far. I watched the Suns announcers as well. One interesting thing that they said early on is that they said that they don't understand what Kerr is not seeing in Kuminga, because what they see is a problem, as in, he's someone to look out for and to game plan for. So the announcers were saying, like, that's a beast right there. That's a dog. That's a horse. So the fact that they're saying, oh, I don't know what Kerr doesn't see in him. The Suns want him. I just don't know who we would trade for him. So I just want to bring that point up real quick. I also want to address
before you address anything, Julian. What Julian? You're normally like first up. What were you doing tonight, man? Why were you so late?
Oh, my Wi-Fi was acting up, so I joined late.
Oh, your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Aren't you aspiring to be like a 7-figure tech tycoon? Like how can you do that if you can't even get your Wi-Fi going, man? What's going on? You okay?
We also got to unplug and plug back in, reset every now and then.
Better late than never. I'm messing with you, obviously, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it feels good to be a little later because everyone's made a lot of points. You had this is a little off Warriors topic, kind of, but you had the awful coach guy. He was so funny because he wouldn't name any coach that he ever liked in history.
Yeah.
And so one thing he said about Mike Brown, he said that how many times he got fired. One thing I'll say about Mike Brown, this goes back to the Warriors, is that he's a genius. I don't know how many times he has signed contracts, gotten fired within 2 to 3 years, and it's a 5-year contract, joins another team immediately and gets paid from both. And my response to him would have been, there's a reason why Mike Brown keeps getting hired. And being a great coach isn't always about, show me your resume, because Sloan, what's his name? Sloan, he didn't have a championship, but he lasted like 20-some years.
He was a great coach, man. He was a great coach. Yeah,
Larry Brown Larry Brown only had one coach, and if you remember Larry Brown, he always got hired to coach young teams and build them up because he was a great coach. He can I see what we got. I'm hard on these players, and I'll get you guys to the playoffs. And so that's what I wanted to bring in. But back to this game, I would say I'm not upset at this loss because it happened within at least some kind of rational lineups. I love that Gee, Butler, and Kuminga were out there at the same time. I love that I
like that too. Yeah,
I think we only played 3-guard lineup one time, and that was Pod, somebody, and Buddy, and it didn't last that long. So I would say this loss, if anything, we can just identify the main issues. And so one of the issues that because I'm kind of checked out of trying to keep Kuminga on this team, I would say I'm disappointed in him just because he knows he can't do anything. So those last 2 shots he took, if I was him, I'll do exactly what he did the first 7 minutes, which is play defense, rebound the ball, and if they give you a last minute shot in the clock, take that shot. Otherwise, always pass, always defer. And the thing about Kuminga, he cares. He missed those last 2 shots because he cared about the game. I would just say play hard on defense, but don't care about the offense. Get your 15, 20 minutes until they trade you. But one thing I noticed about this game, I'm surprised that Podziemski has such a high plus minus, and the reason why he played great offensively. But we lost that almost 10-point lead when he was the lead point guard. and he was running the show, and we went through a terrible scoring drought. And I was thinking to myself during that time, if Spencer was running the team, we wouldn't have lost that like 8 or 9 digit lead that we had, because he's a floor general. So I think Pods proves that he is serviceable as a backup scoring point guard, but as a floor general, nah. Some of the things that we learned from this game, like we do.
Well, and real quick, Julian, I want talking about net rating. I want to quickly mention the team leader this year in net rating. In case you're unfamiliar with that stat or this stat, whatever. Quentin Post is your team leader in net rating. Make that make sense. And again, individual net rating tonight. You're right. Brandon Podziemski had a plus 15 and second on the team in net rating. Because what I like to do when I look at these net rating stats, especially when they're anomalous, is like who else was doing good or bad, right? Like what lineups was Podziemski a part of that made that look good? Second on the team in net rating tonight, D'Anthony Melton, plus 7. And D'Anthony Melton had an awful night shooting wise. He was 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from deep, 2 points total in 15 minutes of play, but he was a plus 7. Trace Jackson Davis was third, plus 3. And Guy Santos was a plus 2. And that's all the players that were in the positive. So take that for what it's worth. Any interpretation from that you're taking?
That, like I said, it something either I don't know how it works, because it seems off, especially when I watched 10 points get erased when Podziemski was the lead guard. So I don't know how he's a plus 15 when we lost by 1.
Okay, well, here's how you figure it out, Julian. You go by quarter. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first quarter, Podziemski was a plus 4. Draymond Green was a plus 8 in the first quarter. Wow. The team started off good. Second quarter, Podziemski was a plus 8. So was the first half. The first half, he was a plus 12. I don't remember much of. I mean, look, the Warriors were leading in the first half, so there you go. That's how he did it. He literally got his plus 15 in the first half, and then in the second half, he was a plus. Yeah, Podziemski was a plus 12 in the first half. Melton was a plus 6. Trace Jackson Davis was a plus 6. So all the good stuff in terms of winning basketball was in the first half. And then in the second half, Podziemski, I'm going to guess, is a plus 3. That's how the math should work out. Yes, he was a plus 3 in the second half. Melton was a plus 1. There you go. Does it answer your question?
Kind of. Honestly, I don't care about plus minus. But so another thing, what we have to make a trade because we have way too many guards. And and I know someone said it, but let's really hammer this point home. Why is Will Richards sitting because he's a rookie? But Brandon Podziemski replaced a 4-time NBA champion in the starting lineup as a rookie. That's what the thing that infuriates, I guess, the Kerr like criticizers is that you're not consistent and you don't make sense based on what you've done as a coach.
Absolutely right.
And again, I think Podziemski has value, but I don't even think that he's being played in his right role because he's not a shooting guard and he's not a floor general point guard. I think he's like a microwave, a scoring guard if someone gives him that chance. But it's just kind of ridiculous that he would say that because we know that we have certain players on the team like Buddy Hield. I'm hoping that we can trade him because he is a lost cause right now. And I think that he has value because he has that $3 million buyout. So I think someone would say, sure, I'll take it. Hey, give us a second round pick. I saw that you were fiddling around with the Dallas Mavericks. I think the reason why the trade doesn't go through because the Mavericks will need to offload some other contracts because they're above that first apron. So if they do, I think a Buddy and one other player and a probably – oh, you're muted. You're muted.
You're right. Sorry. What makes it really hard to trade with Dallas, you're absolutely right. The Mavericks can't go above the first apron, but the Warriors can't go above the second. And they're so up against that second apron that they can't take on additional salary either. So, and that's what makes trading with Dallas so hard. The only trade that I've ever made work with the Mavericks is Jimmy Butler for Anthony Davis straight up. And someone in the chat was asking, and I'll address this one in just a second from Tommy. with a $5 donation. But Hamza Kassem was asking, would you rather trade Jimmy Butler or Draymond Green? Draymond immediately. I mean, it's look. I love Dre. I'm one of those who says this team wins 0 championships without him. I know he's cost the team maybe 1, but they don't win 4 without him. And I believe that fervently. But you know, I'm also going to stay in the present, right? I'm not going to live in the past. I'm going to live in the moment. And in the moment, this team needs Jimmy Butler a hell of a lot more than it needs Draymond Green. So if you can get Giannis, yeah, of course you trade Draymond Green. I don't think that's even like a debate, is it? Now, if all they would take is Jimmy Butler, you still make that trade. I mean, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. And again, with the Mavericks, the only trade that I've been able to make work is Jimmy for Anthony Davis because their salaries are almost identical to the T. So they both still fall below the aprons and avoid the other restrictions. Trading with Dallas, I've discovered, is a pain in the ass. I don't know what's going to happen there, honestly.
Well, I think anyone that knows basketball always knew that Draymond Green was not going to age well because the things that make him great as a undersized power forward was, I'm going to say, like that fat boy strength, but he's short. And he's not getting stronger because I never seen him like do weight workouts. He just had that like Zach Randolph fat boy strength. He actually has a little jiggle to his chest, and he's a full-time NBA player. So you can tell his gray hair. I never seen a 35-year-old with that much gray hair. So he's not aging well, and I think that's why you're seeing the 8 turnovers, 5 turnovers, him getting frustrated. I think you might be seeing a little bit of what we saw from Clay a couple of years ago, where he was forcing something because he still wanted to be that guy. And I think Draymond still wants to be that guy, like first team all defense, near triple double type of guy. And I think the front office has a lot of decisions to make. I know you don't want to rub people the wrong way, but I do agree with one of your callers earlier that email was leaked on purpose. And one of the key things about the email, when Joe Lacob said he said something like what the coaches decide with players, or something with the players they like. So you can tell that, oh, hey, they're doing something, but I have a different vision, but I'm trying to respect the 12-year coach that we have and 4-time champion. I wanted to throw a trade at
real quick, Julian. What would be the agenda for Joe Lacob to leak that? Like, meaning, like, I'm not saying you're wrong. Who knows? But what would be the reason? Like, what is he getting out of it?
I think that what he's getting out of it is that now there's more visibility on the problem. And like you say, San Francisco, the San Francisco media, they're very kind. And the average fan,
you're being kind. Just say soft. They're soft as F, man. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But I feel you.
And so all the fans, like, and all the, like, you mentioned Gil's Arena. I found a new podcast called To the Baja that has Charlie Villanueva. All of them say the same thing, that the rotations, the coaching is the problem. But that's not going to make the newspaper. That's not going to make ESPN. Leaking that email now puts a spotlight and hot seat where Joe Lacob still says, like, the email's respectful. It didn't mention anything. I said Jimmy is not the problem. So he wasn't very clear on other matters. But now it's more of a spotlight. So if we do get to the point where, say, Draymond's traded, or Steve Kerr comes out and says, due to health issues or something, I believe I'm not the right fit for the team going forward, something along those lines. So I just think it just adds a little gasoline for Lacob to make that hard decision. And because I don't think he would have been able to like he should be able to, but I don't think that he has the courage to just say, come in the office and like, what you're doing is ridiculous, and clean it up or buy. I don't think he has.
Yeah, and you look, that you might be right, because it's the one huge mystery that I've never been able to solve behind the scenes with the Warriors is how exactly the Steve Kerr Joe Lacob relationship works. Like, I don't know how close they are. I don't know if you might be right. There's a very real possibility what you're saying is true, that Joe Lacob would find it more effective to leak this email as a means of communicating to Kerr and maybe getting it out to the public that, like you're on notice.
Well, I'm gonna put you on the spotlight a bit.
Always,
because
ready for that. Yeah,
they always keep saying that, oh, we've drafted good second round picks. So before I give my point, Do you believe that Steve Kerr has input on our first round picks?
Input, yes, but is he the decision maker? No.
Okay.
I also don't think he cares all that much. I think he cared like a mother effer in 2020 when they drafted James Wiseman, but in 2021 he had nothing to do with Kuminga. Like that was all Draymond Green and Jared Jack and Bob Myers was also. I mean, it was a fairly unanimous selection with the exception of the coaches, but the coaches, from what I understand, did not input an opinion on those picks strongly. Like Kerr was mostly out of it for that. Who knows why? But
so we get somewhat of a serviceable second round picks every now and then. But what I'm seeing is that we don't have a good scouting for first round picks. And I'm not sure if you ever had a conversation about this, but do you know we drafted Moses Moody, a small forward, over Quentin Grimes, over Trey Murphy, who we want to trade for now, and we drafted him over Jalen Johnson, who just had 4 straight triple doubles. And tonight he missed a triple double by 1 assist, but scored 43 points.
You're forgetting you're forgetting maybe the biggest name.
Well, the reason why I'm not mentioning Şengün, because I can imagine, he's a center and he's slow and he's not going to fit the team.
Kerr would never play him, yeah.
But the reason why I brought up those guys, because if you're having a combine and you're looking at numbers and height for a particular wing position, you had 3 guys behind him with more height, length, and athleticism than Moody. And the reason why I bring up Moody, because he did have a bad game tonight. He does play hard, and I never had an issue with him. I just don't like when fans say that, don't trade Moody, because he is on a decent, good contract. But I don't see the lateral quickness from him to cover for Steph Curry, because Steph Curry needs a defensive cover. And that leads into a trade idea I had. And I want the audience to understand how trade works. I know people said, we should get Herb Jones. Kuminga is more valuable than Herb Jones straight up. So you do not trade Kuminga for Herb Jones. Herb Jones shoots less than 40% from the field. He's also 27 years old, and he has 4 years left on his contract. So what teams want, they want to get off of money. They want younger players that maybe could be as good and maybe less years, and they want first-round draft picks. So my trade, I'm looking at it right now. You might not like this because it's one of your favorite players, but we're trying to get some value, and we're thinking about Curry last 2 years. I would trade Moses Moody, Trace Jackson Davis, and throw in the first round, and the last one, Will Richard, if we're not going to use him, to get Herb Jones. And the trade works. And we could play him at shooting guard, be that defensive stopper.
Why not Podziemski for Will Richard?
The trade wouldn't. Let me see if it works right now. One second. I don't think it would work with. Maybe
I would not do that trade. Will Richard, to me, the potential. I really like that kid. Mm-hmm. Like I could see a future where he's one of the key players on this team. I don't want. I hate how. That's one of many reasons why I want to move on from Kerr, because he clearly has no idea how to develop talent, how to nurture talent. And Will Richard is a very real talent. I also read something like today or yesterday that and it was an attribution from Will Richard back when he was first drafted and in his early training camp days a few months back. Stephen Curry had a message for him, which was to be ready to be treated like this, which is kind of crazy. I mean, just to prepare the young man. And Will Richard said this because he was interviewed recently about the DNPs. And he said he had prepared himself for it because Stephen Curry had a long talk with him to prepare him for this. And it's crazy, you know. But at the same time, it's like he's a second-round pick. So I can understand a speech like that. You know, I mean, second-round picks don't usually get a good run. I mean, Alex Tui, the team's other second-round pick, who was picked first. I can't remember if it was Richard or, excuse me, Tui. But Tui's gone already.
Tui was picked. He was picked first.
Tui was picked first.
Yep.
Then he's gone. And I believe that was an Andrew Bogut recommendation as well. So, yeah, second rounders, it's, you know, who knows. But
yeah, so I'm trying to trade, unfortunately, swapping Richard with pod does not work unless you want to do Seth Curry. But why would you bring Seth Curry just to dump him? And maybe are we willing to trade Quentin Post because he's 1.9? Let's see if this works. And someone said in the chat that he's not Herb Jones is not worth that much. Moses Moody is not worth more than Herb Jones. And I offered Trace Jackson Davis, which I think that he's going to be out the league pretty soon. And the only valuable thing that I put there was Will Richard and a first-round pick. I think they're going to be asking for at least one first-round pick for Herb Jones. And there's going to be a lot of suitors because he's all defense. He's a former all-defense player.
I like Sheree Brown in our chat saying that she can't wait for Bob Myers to get old and crazy and start spilling the beans. I'm trying to get Bob on the show because Bob Myers, to me, has all the answers. At least all the answers I want. I'm trying to get him on now. I know he got some new job recently. I forgot who he's working with. But that would be awesome if he spilled the beans because Bob Myers has all the answers, I think. Julian, before you go, will you address this $5 donation from A. Tommy, who writes, are we witnessing the Warriors championship window close a bit more in real time? And you got to pay another $5 if you want two questions. I'm kidding. And is the Horford experiment officially a dud? I'll answer the second one first with an emphatic yes. I think it's comical when I randomly hear somebody say, "Hey, Al Horford's coming back soon." It's like, okay, so what's old Big Al gonna do out there? Like jump an inch to have some other guy grab a rebound over him? Dude, he looks so bad out there. That to me represents a dud of a free agent signing. Armando Laura, him and I, by the way, side note, tomorrow's Friday happy hour. So the professor and I hopefully will resume. We last week the Warriors had a game on a Friday, and Armando wasn't feeling well. He couldn't make the post-game show. So tomorrow, Armando and I will talk about Al Horford and so much more in great detail. But I bring up Armando because he called that from the start. He was like, dude, that is not going to work. I needed to see it, and I've seen it. No, it's not going to work. He was right. And then the first question, do you agree with that, Julian? What are your thoughts on that real quick?
I definitely agree with the Horford experiment just on play because he's not going to get better, and the fact that he's not on the court. And it was such a dumb decision to give him a player option. What other team was begging for Al Horford to give him player option? So now you're guaranteed that he's going to opt into that because I'm not giving up $6 million even if my knees are not working. And no team is going to trade for Al Horford unless you throw in picks because he's going to opt in for the next year, and then you got to buy him out and pay $6 million, $5 million anyway. So I don't know what they were doing, but yeah, that's a complete dud. And to the first point, yeah, we are witnessing the window close, and we have a very slim shot. And that slim shot is we need to make some, maybe not drastic changes, definitely clean up the guards, be honest with ourselves, and probably getting rid of Green is the most honest thing that you can do. And if you keep Green, you need to you need to change up the coaching style, like either fire the coach or say what we're playing is not working, and get Steph Curry not to be that, I guess, bailout superstar we need. Run it through Jimmy Butler, run it through someone else. Like if you're going to trade Kuminga, you better damn well get someone good. You better damn well get. And the more that I think about Michael Porter Jr., the more that it clicks with me because he has no conscience when he shoots. Catch and shoot very quick. I think he's showing on the Nets that he's more than what he was on the Nuggets. He played his role. So I think that since he's a spacer, imagine a lineup of say Curry, Butler, MPJ, Green, and Post. If you keep that, I think you have a lot of shooters and a lot of size, and we need to commit to that. So it's a very sliver open, and in order to understand the window, watch other teams play. Like the Spurs, OKC, the Knicks, the Cup, they all have such long wings. The Spurs play small ball, but their small ball is De'Aaron Fox, who's 6'5", I think, and then they have Castle, they have Vassell, Then Barnes, that's power forward. They're all above that 6'6", up to 6'8" like range, and then you have like Wemby or somebody. That's the kind of small ball that Kerr used to do, not like 6'2", 6'3", 6'3", and just being blown by you. And I think
Dylan Harper is the Spurs.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan Harper and
I forgot
Stephon
about him.
Jasper, man, they literally won the lottery. I mean, I know those are 2 lottery
And
picks.
they're about to get another top 5 pick from the Clippers. They might be the dynasty. That's what I'm saying.
And OKC has the Clippers first round pick.
Yeah.
That's another nightmare scenario. I do foresee a lot of trades coming. I don't know what the Warriors are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I still maintain this, and it's so sad that Steve Kerr is in charge because I don't think it's complicated. I really don't. And I'll break down the minutes for you, even just to paint a picture of what I see as being a damn good basketball team that can make a serious run. The Thunder don't scare me like a lot of people do, mostly because I do think the Warriors style can match them, but you have to play the right players. Jimmy Butler should be getting the same minutes he's getting now. Draymond Green, maybe 5 minutes less. Quentin Post, 20 minutes. Moses Moody, 20 minutes. Stephen Curry, 30 minutes. GP2, end of the bench cheerleading. Trace Jackson Davis, 15 minutes. Brandon Pajemski, end of the bench cheerleading. DeAnthony Melton, 25 minutes. Buddy Hield, end of the bench cheerleading. Jonathan Kuminga, 30 minutes. How 35 minutes? Guy Santos, 25 minutes. Seth Curry, 20 minutes. Will Richard, 25 minutes. Do that, who knows what could happen? But you're going to see great things. Unfortunately, we're never going to see that because Steve Kerr's the coach. And I also guarantee you this. What I just said right now, that's exactly how Mike Dunleavy Jr. and to a lesser extent Joe Lacob, that's how they feel. That's what they want to see. But they have this obtuse individual running things, and here we are. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. What did you think about? I put in the chat a while ago, and it worked out. Getting in order for us to win the championship, I think we have to give up on keeping Steph Curry and Draymond together. And I posted a trade. It was pretty much the majority of our team, all of our good assets. But we got back Giannis and Miles Turner, and we were able to have a lineup of Steph Curry, I think Melton, Butler, Giannis, and Miles Turner. And we still had a decent bench with Seth Curry, Guy Santos, some other people as well. Would you do, and also our 4 first-round picks would be going to them. Would you do such a massive trade like that?
For who?
So for example, trade Draymond, Kuminga, Moody.
I get it, but who's the other player? Who are you getting back?
No, you're getting back onto Giannis and Miles Turner.
Oh, hell yeah, of course. Yeah, I did that yesterday. Absolutely. And by the way, the Michael Porter Jr. thing, it's very important to add this context. A couple of things. One, what you're seeing with him in Brooklyn now is not a surprise if you followed him in college. The only reason why he even fell in the draft to 14 or 15 or wherever he was when the Nuggets rolled the dice is because he's had a history of back problems, right? And if he did not have the back issues, he would have been a top 3 pick. Like everyone knew him coming out into the draft that was a special talent there. But he had that massive back problem, and it has cost him in his career significant time at various points. It's not bothering him now, so he looks amazing. And which leads to the second very important point. He looks amazing while playing for the Brooklyn Nets. That has to be taken into consideration. Trey Murphy puts up these huge numbers while playing for the New Orleans Pelicans. That has to be taken into consideration, man. You got to look at these circumstances. Of all the players out there, to me, and again, you're dealing with Danny Ainge, so I don't know if it's realistic, but Lauri Markkanen to me represents the best hope of salvaging the season while being like a realistic target for someone who maybe can fit. I don't know what else is out there that could be like a magic solution. If you can get Lauri Markkanen and you're trading Kuminga, Pajemski, and you're not swindled out of more than 1 first-round pick, you do that. And I think you've got a damn good team there. And you've got a big that Steve Kerr will trust. And that to me, I don't know what else is out there where you can have like genuine hope and not just be, set up for a colossal letdown. But
the pushback I have with Michael Porter Jr. is that We've seen him on a winning team, and he's put up 18 and 19 and 17 on that winning team. So yes,
but Julian, you're right, and they won a championship. But you could also get the version you got last year. The version Michael Porter Jr. last year, that sucked. Like he was checked out half the time, wasn't making big three. The Nuggets moved on from him for a good reason. That also has to be taken into consideration, right? And he's not a high IQ guy, man. The dude's dumb as rocks. I mean, we got to be real about this. Like you're like, if you bring him in, you have to bring him in with the premise of, all right, we got a guy who's going to be saying stupid shit, who's going to be offending people. Who knows if he's coachable? I mean, I never really heard much of anything from Mike Malone about him. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I wouldn't hate it, but I just would not count on it because the Warriors are usually pretty calculated in their moves, and I just don't see how Michael Porter Jr. is the answer. I don't know. I could be wrong on that too. I have no idea.
Well, I would say his bad year was over 50% from the field and 39% from three, and so maybe he just was checked out because you're at a place for too long.
I could be totally wrong about all of that. I could be wrong. I mean, he might work out great. I'm just trying to think of all the variables and how realistic it could be. But yeah. Anyways, I want to start wrapping it up, man. We've been going forever.
The last thing I'll say is, like, tonight's loss was just another one of those karma things that I was talking about, because it keeps on happening to the Warriors. Like, we're right there in the fourth, and somehow, some way, we end up losing. So nothing's going to change until this team looks itself in the mirror and says, well, we got to make these big changes, either the coach or some massive players. Thank you, Cy. You have a great night.
Thank you. Yeah, you too, Julian. And again, Julian, the moment he makes a 7-figure salary, is going to kick some down to us. I'm holding him to that, even though he never made that promise. I made the promise for him, but I'm still going to hold it, Julian. So you better kick down at least 6 figures. I'm teasing. KKS in the chat saying that Steph's play can lead to winning, but not exclusively his style. Jimmy Butler said the obvious earlier this year that they need more than one style of offense. And piggybacking off that, I said this earlier in the show, that these other styles of offense you're referencing, what Jimmy Butler also said is, have me and Kuminga out there, right? Like let's put pressure on that defense with multiple players who are a legitimate threat. Kuminga is still a threat. Like, when Kuminga is out there, opposing defenses don't just go, because that's what they're doing when Pajemski's out there. That's what they're doing when Draymond Green is out there. They're just yawning, man. They're just putting their hands behind their heads and just... Oh, Brandon Pajemski. Okay. Oh, Draymond, shoot your threes. That fear does not exist when Kuminga's out there. That fear doesn't exist with Steph, Jimmy Butler. Buddy Hield, he gets minutes largely because he's still that threat, even though the threat is not real anymore. God damn it, that shit's frustrating. And then Byron Knox bringing up a very interesting juxtaposition, which is that Steve Kerr could be gone next year. And the question is, will Stephen Curry and Draymond Green be gone as well? I don't think so. I also think it's very noteworthy that Stephen Curry has not extended his contract. Next year is the final year of his contract. I think that's it. I do believe that's it, and he's going to retire. Will the organization be okay with another year of Steve Kerr? Probably not. So my guess is you're going to see an end to a career with Stephen Curry, like what we saw with Magic Johnson, where Mike Dunleavy was his coach for the last year, or Michael Jordan, where his old coach Doug Collins became his coach again. Kobe Bryant had Mike D'Antoni. Was that the last coach that he had? I could see something like that. Except I hope the Warriors hire a better coach than those names I just mentioned. Hopefully it'll actually be a really good coach. But anyways, and Latasha in the chat saying that nobody fears Kuminga. Well, just actually, if you watch the game, focus on Kuminga and who his defender is, and sit there and tell me with a straight face that the defense is laxing off him, or the defense is not worried about him. Every time Kuminga has the ball, did you see how many? Kuminga went 1 for 5 from the field tonight, and I think he got blocked twice. Mark Williams got at least one of those blocks, and then the other block I think was Iguodaro. My point is they're putting like their best defenders on him. Every time Kuminga has the ball in that Cleveland game where all his haters love bringing up 1 for 10, he was 1 for 10 largely because he had the reigning defensive player of the year defending him, Evan Mobley. Teams don't put their best defenders on a player if they don't respect it. Come on. Latasha, well, come on. Like, are you being serious? You really think when Kuminga's out there that other teams are not worried? Like, that's crazy. Come on. Aim. We're going to wrap it up with you, sir. How you doing?
What's good, son?
Whole lot. It's the holidays. Christmas is a week from today, so I'm excited to spend some time with my family. It's been a little while. How about you?
W, bro, man. Nah, it's the same thing, but honestly, bro, I'm tired of this. Gonna be a hot take, bro. This gonna be an unpopular opinion, of course.
Who cares?
But I'm done with the Moses Moody shit. Like, I'm so over it, bro. Man, ever since the playoffs when he went like 0 for 15 in like 3 games straight, like he's just been trash, bro. Like, he's not a good defender. He's an overrated defender in terms of guarding, like just overall guards and everything. His shot isn't hitting, and you look at the percentages, like, oh, he's shooting 38% from 3, but bro, most of his shots is wide open. So that's really
tonight. And dude, it wasn't just Moody. It was
facts.
Moody was 1 of 6 from deep. Quentin Post 2 of 10 from deep. It doesn't help also that Stephen Curry was 2 of 9 from deep. It was and then DeAnthony Melton 0 of 4 from deep. What really disappointed me, Aim, is you heard Steve Kerr in the postgame saying all these positive things. Like I got the vibe from Kerr that he actually liked what he saw. He just didn't think the result matched the play. And he cited the poor shooting. Like I think what Kerr was trying to say is, well, most nights Quentin Post will not be 2 of 10. Moses Moody will not be 1 of 6. Steph will not be 2 of 9. But the hole in his logic, though, is that Phoenix was also horrible from deep. Colin Gillespie, who typically is one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA currently, which is a true story. It's kind of crazy. He was only 1 of 6 from deep. Jordan Goodwin was 1 of 7 from deep. Devin Booker was a respectable 2 of 6. That's only 33%. My point is, both the teams, the Warriors and the Suns, they each shot from deep an identical 28.6%. So in Steve Kerr's mind, if he's thinking, well, if we play like this, but we're going to make our threes in the future, which seems to be like his entire, agenda is just shoot a lot of threes and we'll beat opponents with the shooting. But the hole in your logic is the other team also didn't make shit, right? And so what if they made their threes? If they made just 2 or 3 more of their 3-pointers, this would not have even been a close game, Sorry to go off on a tangent there.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like, I don't know, this kind of reminds me, like, just I know this is the NBA, but like an AAU team or a high school team, like they're blowing through some teams, then they finally meet their match or whatever, and they finally meet some competition. It's like, damn, we're actually not as good as we thought. Bro, like, we got a lot of JV players. Like, it's too many G leaguers on our team, bro. Like, it's not enough talent. Like, and I'm thinking, like,
and they're getting the minutes.
If Moody got sent to a team, if Moody got sent to a team like the Blazers, would he actually get 20+ minutes? Like I'm thinking, like, would Post get 20+ minutes? Would all these players, would Guy Santos even play on another team that's actually decent? Like, would these players get that many minutes on another team? Like, we got a lot of G leaguers, bro. Like, and it wouldn't, bro. Like, it's crazy to me. Like
I'm laughing because I just saw your picture. I didn't see it until now. So for people listening on the podcast, Aim Assist always comes in hot with a different profile pic, and the pic tonight is Steve Kerr and the clip holding a clipboard which says on it 2 words, quote, "no idea," unquote. And the no idea is basically where a typical ATO or a play would be scripted out. That's comedy. You come up with phenomenal stuff. Yeah, and you're absolutely right, man. This team is routinely minutes are being filled by G leaguers. And the worst part is the G Leaguers getting minutes, they should be at the end of the bench. So actual good players are getting minutes. I'm with you on Moses Moody, man. Like my Moses Moody philosophy is he deserves minutes, he should play, but you can also kind of feel early in a game if he has it or not. And a game like this, like if I'm the head coach and I'm coaching this game and Moses Moody's my starter and he's coming out shooting like this, where he's bricking left and right, and he just doesn't have it, I'm going to limit his minutes because I have other options, right? Like Moses Moody will not get 30 minutes tonight. Maybe he'll get 15 or 20. I've got Will Richard waiting in the wings. I got Seth Curry waiting in the wings. I have other options I can go to. That's how I would roll. I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, I agree, bro. Like I just look at this team, I'd be like, damn, bro, like this dude's really averaging 20 minutes, bro. Like, are we serious? Like, like, bro, really, bro? Like 20, like, come on, bro. Like, and then it's like with Pods was actually pretty decent, but
statistically,
bro, looking at him play defense though, bro, I was looking at this one play and I forgot who he was guarding. I think it was Booker, and he just let him slide past him so like, dude, you didn't even try, bro.
There was one possession I thought Podziemski actually played good defense on Devin Booker, which is saying a lot, man. But I witnessed it, couldn't believe it, but I saw it. And then you're right, it was like a play or two later, and I can't remember if it was Devin Booker who burned him or if it was Royce O'Neal. It was somebody, but I remember that exact play. Like it looked so easy. It did not look difficult. Like the guy just was like, do like 2 steps layup. I couldn't believe it, man. I'm with you. I feel you on that.
Like, man, it's like horrible defense. And then Buddy got 10 minutes, which
10 more
2 turnovers, no assists, no rebounds, no nothing. Just the 3. That's it. Like, bro, like you play 10 minutes, can't do anything. Like, bro. Then Post, honestly, I like Post, but bro, like I'm looking at this season, and he doesn't shoot well against good teams. Like I noticed how you were saying how like 2 shows ago you were like you would like to see Post shoot good against actual like competition or whatever. But when we do play competition, he just doesn't shoot well. I looked through all the games, maybe like 1 or 2 games against actual 500 teams out of like there may be like 2 games where he's actually shooting well. It's just I'd rather get an actual center. Post is a G leaguer too. I mean, his defense was terrible tonight as well, but I'd rather just
here's the
Moody.
Here's the game. I want to go through the game log.
Yeah, go ahead.
Of Moody and Quentin Post with their 3-point shooting, just to give people some perspective of how these guys have been. So Moses Moody in the month of December, and I'm just going to read off to you every game and how he did as a 3-point shooter. He was 1 of 6 tonight. Before that, 2 of 6, 1 of 4. Those aren't good. 3 of 5. That's good. 1 of 3, 2 of 5, 1 of 5. So that's just December. And on the year, he's shooting, like you said, 38.6%. So acceptable. You live with it, but there's a lot of bad nights. Quentin Post in the month of December, 3-point shooting. And again, he gets a lot of his minutes because of the fact that he's a stretch big. 2 of 10 tonight, which is awful. But then he's had a good run before this. This was actually this snapped a string of great shooting nights because previously he was 3 of 6 from deep, 4 of 11, 5 of 10, 2 of 6, 2 of 4, 1 for 1. So December, dude, he's shooting with tonight was a bad night, no doubt. But even with tonight, he's still shooting 44.7% from 3 in December. Now, unfortunately, though, in November, he shot 30.8% from deep. And on the season, he's at 35.9, which is not very good. My whole thing with Quentin Post is on a night like this where he doesn't have it, like, why not play Trayce Jackson-Davis? Like, you have another center. And I don't see, when Trayce Jackson-Davis is out there, like, I don't see him hurting the team. Like, he does the fundamentals. He makes life difficult for the opposition inside, which he's one of the only guys who can do that. Like, why not give Trayce more minutes? Like, I don't know.
No, I agree for sure. Like, I thought TJD got way more minutes, but I looked, he got like 7 minutes. But You know,
Well, you know why you
TJ,
thought that? I said this at the
yeah.
beginning of the show. There was something screwy going on with the stat keepers. Something funky was going on because at the half of tonight's game, and I double checked. I looked at the NBA's box score of this game, and I looked at ESPN's, and both of them showed that Trace Jackson Davis had 19 first half minutes. I was like, what? I'm like watching the game. I saw him get like 2 more minutes on my box score on my phone. And I'm looking at the game, and he's not even in the game. And I was like, this is weird. And then Buddy Hield was second with 16 minutes. I had no idea what was going on, but that's what was showing. And the NBA's website, which is where I get the box score I use for these shows, and it's where the media box score is available. And the public can find it too. I can help anyone out if they ever want to seek it out. That wasn't even displayed. Like that wasn't even showing. So something was going on that was funky tonight in the NBA world. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the NBC Sports Bay Area broadcast. The first quarter, the audio quality, it sounded like the two guys were on their phones. The whole thing was funky. Tonight's just a very funky night. And unfortunately, it was a loser funk for the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, bro. Like, bro. Yeah, man. This is just bad, bro. And
yes, it is.
Bro,
yes,
honestly,
it is.
we have to trade for a center. I think everyone's talking about a forward, bro. Priority has to be a center. Like, realistically, going into the playoffs, Quinn Post starting at center, bro. And then we not having Al Horford start. I hope not. That would be terrible. Any center in the West, like Rudy Gobert would drop 20 and 10 every game in the series. Shit. Isaiah Hartenstein would drop 20 and 10, bro. Like
Rudy Gobert looked
bro.
like I mean, he might make he'll probably make the Hall of Fame anyways, but he's not your traditional Hall of Fame type center. He looked like a traditional Hall of Fame type center when the Warriors played his team, man. He ate them up. Like he ate them up in that game. It was ugly, man. Yeah, that Minnesota game sucked, and that was without Anthony Edwards. Any final thoughts, Aim? I know this sucks. There were 2 games below 500, 28 games into the season. We're pretty much at the third mark. What's 28 times 2 is 56. So yeah, I think we're exactly at not exactly, we're just past the third mark. We're a third of the way through the season, and the Warriors are 2 games below 500. If that doesn't trigger this sound effect, where'd my sound effect go? There it is. Yeah, this is alarm. There is danger here. Danger, Will Robinson. This is panic time, dude. And Kerr thinks the only problem is they're missing their 3-point shots. That's what I heard tonight. Isn't that what you heard too?
Yeah, I heard that too, bro. I heard that too. But
crazy. Yeah, crazy.
Before I go, yeah, it's just bad, bro. Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that Moody is not on my do not trade list. If we need to trade him, bro, he is definitely going there. He's a walking brick. I don't care about him no more.
I don't think that's such a controversial take. Look, you got to deliver. You got to perform. And in Moses Moody's case, a huge part of his value is the 3-point shooting. I will also say this. This same could be said for Brandon Podziemski.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that Brandon Podziemski, look, I know statistically he had a decent night tonight, but on the year, there are 3 stats, which are very alarming when it comes to Brandon Podziemski. One is the assists. He's third on this team in minutes, and he's only averaging 3.2 assists a game. How do you defend that? I mean, the guy's supposed to be a point guard, and he can't set up his own team and his teammates for success. What does that say about him? So the assist numbers are routinely down. He only had 2 tonight, despite being third on the team in minutes. The 3-point shooting, how did this happen? Aim, did you know that, and I'm guessing tonight had a lot to do with it, and also the fact that he's a low volume 3-point shooter. Somehow Brandon Podziemski this year is at 40.6% shooting from deep. Does that surprise you?
Oh, no, I knew it. Okay. But to be honest, bro, that ain't even good because most of his shots wide open too, bro. So,
yeah, they were wide open.
Shit, that should be higher, but yeah.
Honestly, 40, bro, if you're hitting above 40, that's very good. What isn't good is the fact that he can't hit his free throws. He's at 75.8% this year, which is mid. It's average. That's like what I would do if I was in the NBA. Maybe I'd probably actually at 80. But hold on. But more specifically, when you look at the team numbers and you look at the free throw percentages, Brandon Podziemski is like the bottom tier of free throw shooting for this team. The worst free throw shooter is Trace Jackson Davis, 64.3%. Draymond Green, 65.2%. Guy Santos, 68.8%. Jonathan Kuminga, 74.1%. And then Brandon Podziemski, 75.8%. Ahead of Podziemski is Will Richard, 77.4%. DeAnthony Melton, 78.6%. Quentin Post, 81%. Moses Moody, 83%. Jimmy Butler, 84.9%. Pat Spencer, 90%. Stephen Curry, 90.7%. Buddy Hield, 94.4%. GP2, 100%. Al Horford, 100%. That was a lot of names that are ahead of Brandon Podziemski in terms of efficient free throw shooting. And, if Podziemski is going to get the minutes that he's getting, there's got to be more production. That's been my argument from the get-go. It's like he's not a two guard. He's playing out of position doing that. I've never hated the minutes when he's just playing the point, because at least he brings size to the position and some grit. But as a two guard, and when he's out there with Steph, that's 2/5. That's 40% of your lineup with zero defense, pretty much. Like two little dudes who are slow. Stephen Curry's not slow-footed, but you don't want him like getting pounded defensively, and you don't want to have him playing rigorous defensive minutes out there. You want him to have some help defensively. Brandon Podziemski is not the help. When 40% of your lineup out there is those two playing defense, you're salivating if you're an opposing player, I think. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we need all these brown shirts gone, bro. Like, whatever we got to do to get a center, bro, just go ahead and do it, because I'm tired of seeing these level ones on the court, bro. Like, it's getting tiring, but that's about it.
Have a great night. I love the mic drop. All right, let's go to the scoreboard, and then we'll call it a night. Hamza Kassem in the chat quickly asking, how do you see the playoffs going? That's so far away. There's a very strong possibility that this Warriors team a month from now is drastically different. Ultimately, though, I still think the biggest issue is the coach. I don't know how this gets resolved without a change there. I don't. Which is very depressing. Let's see what else happened in the NBA tonight. The Warriors were not the only team playing. Is the closer missing? No closer? Oh, he did say he wasn't going to be available, I think he did let me know. All right, closer. You're forgiven. Thursday, December 18th. That is the date. Christmas is exactly a week from today. Elsewhere in the association on this Thursday, December 18th, the Golden State Warriors lost 99-98. They fall to 13-15 on the year. The Atlanta Hawks got Trae Young back tonight. Didn't help. They lost to the Charlotte Hornets, 133-126. LaMelo Ball, 28 points, 13 assists in the win. Jalen Johnson for the Hawks, 43 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists in the loss. The New York Knicks, 114-113 winners in Indianapolis to improve to 19-7. The Pacers dropped to 6-21. Oh, that's a new name. Every time I see a new name in the top performer box that I look at for these scores, I want to look it up, because the top performer for the Knicks tonight was listed as Tyler Kolek. And if you're asking yourself, who the hell is Tyler Kolek? He's a 6'2 guard who, coming into tonight's game, was averaging 3.6 points per game. He was a second-round pick last year for the Portland Trailblazers. And tonight, he put up 16 points on 7 of 10 shooting, added 11 assists, added 6 rebounds. Jalen Brunson adding 25 points. Mikal Bridges, 22. Side note, speaking of Mikal Bridges, do not be surprised if he somehow is the guy who ends up with the Warriors. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's just one of those like intuition things. But I can most certainly see a 3-team trade with the Knicks, Bucks, and Warriors, where Miles Bridges comes to the Golden State Warriors. Now, if Miles Turner also comes, and now you have Miles Bridges and Miles Turner, you might be onto something there. And Miles Bridges, in case people were not familiar, he was on the USA team in the FIBA Cup in 2023, and Steve Kerr loved him. So, and it's another guard. Can we do that? Let's. If you can get Miles Bridges and Miles Turner, that might actually be a good deal. But then you also have Jim Everett, the great. Is it Jim Everett or is this Chris? Do I have a rim shot for my own jokes? Let's bring out the trade machine. Let's give this a try. Hold on a second here. 3-team trade. Yeah, share screen. 3-team trade. Let's see if this could happen. Let's hit the reset button. Select new teams. All right. So we're going to get the Knicks involved. We're going to get the Milwaukee Bucks involved. And your Golden State Warriors. And then we're going to turn restrictions off so that Kuminga can be part of this, since he's technically not eligible till January 15th. We're sending Miles Turner to the Warriors. We're sending Giannis to the Knicks. And then with the Knicks, we're sending Mikal. Why do I keep... Was I calling him Mikal or was I calling him Miles? Mikal Bridges. I'm sorry. It's late. We've been going for a while. So Mikal Bridges goes to the Warriors. But then what are the Bucks getting? So I guess the Bucks would get the Warriors assets. All right. So then we'll send Kuminga to Milwaukee. And then how does Draymond to New York sound? Oh, shit. I thought I almost had it. So New York is hard capped. Oh, they can't go over the first apron. I see. Okay, so I got to take Draymond. Draymond's not going to the Knicks. That's definitely not happening. All right, so let's take Draymond out. Forgive me for listening to me mumble as I'm doing trades. We'll send Draymond to Milwaukee. So the Knicks have to get rid of some more contracts, and so do the Warriors. Okay. I want to make this trade work. So New York could also send... How about Josh Hart? No. To Milwaukee? Yeah, it was Selly to Milwaukee. To give up more from New York? Oh, so I got to get a big contract out of New York. All right, so forget Yabusele, or let's just add Josh Hart as well. I feel like the Bucks have like all this cap space. Trade fails. God, dude, the Warriors and the Knicks are just in this horrible position. I give up. Maybe that can't be. Maybe that's not realistic. I don't know. Ranger Rick's asking, is Zach LaVine bad? Yes. Yeah, let's not entertain that, please. That's not happening. Harmony's saying Miles Bridges might be a better option than Mikhail. I know Miles with the Hornets. Very curious to see what happens. KKS saying even if Kuminga went to a bad team, and side note, I don't think Kuminga would care if he went to a bad team. He might get enough freedom and playing time to advance his career significantly. And this is the great fear of the Warriors with trading Kuminga. They don't want to trade him and immediately experience regret that they had this talent, but a dumbass head coach who wouldn't play him. All right. Well, anyway, so the Knicks improved to 19-7. The Pacers dropped to 6-21. Kolek again, the former second-round pick of the Blazers in last year's draft, high second-round pick, number 34, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists in the win. Andrew Nembhard, 31 points in the loss. The Miami Heat, 106-95 winners tonight over the Brooklyn Nets. Kel'el Ware, 22 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks in the win for the Heat. They improved to 15-12. The Brooklyn Nets dropped to 7-19. Nick Claxton, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists in the win. See, those assists can be tantalizing for hands up. 25-2, 122-101 winners tonight over the LA Clippers. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 32.7 rebounds, 6 assists in the win. Kawhi Leonard, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists in the loss. OKC again now 25-2. The Clippers, Jesus, they're now 6-21. Woo! I keep reading that they were trying to salvage their season. It's like, why do you have dreams like that when you're 6-21? The Clippers are currently 5 games behind the Portland Trailblazers for the 10th and final play-in position. The Golden State Warriors, with the loss tonight, dropped to 9th in the standings with a 13-15 record. They are now a half game behind the Memphis Grizzlies for the 8th seed. Ooh, God damn it. They're behind the Grizzlies? Wow. Well, the San Antonio Spurs, 119-94 winners tonight over the Washington Wizards. Dylan Harper, 24 points in the win. Which George is on the Wizards? I think Keontae's on the Jazz. It's Keshawn George is on the Wizards. Keshawn George was the top performer for the Wizards with 11 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Washington drops to 4-21 on the year. The Spurs improved to 19-7. The Toronto Raptors, 111-105 winners tonight over the Milwaukee Bucks. Brandon Ingram, 29 points, 8 rebounds to the win for a Raptors team that improves to 17-11. The Bucks drop to 11-17. Bobby Portis, 24 points, 12 rebounds in the loss. The Houston Rockets in overtime losing to the New Orleans Pelicans. My mind was set on just a loss for the Rockets when they played New Orleans, but not the case. The Pelicans improving to 6-22 with the win at home. Sadiq Bey, 29 points, 9 rebounds. The Houston Rockets dropping to 16-8. Kevin Durant, 32 points, 7 rebounds, 4 blocks. Final in overtime, the Dallas Mavericks, 116-114 winners over the Detroit Pistons. Cooper Flagg, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks in the win. Cade Cunningham, 29 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist shy of a triple-double, 9 assists in the loss. A good game tonight in Denver. The Nuggets beating the Magic, 126-115. Denver improving to 20-6. Orlando dropping to 15-12. Jokic, 23 points, 11 rebounds, 13 assists in the win. Halil Ben Kettle, 26 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists in the loss. We had a massive docket of games tonight. Two more. The LA Lakers, 143-135 winners tonight over the Utah Jazz. The game played in Salt Lake City. See, now we got the other George. That's Keon, right? For the Jazz. Keontae George. 34 points, 8 assists in the loss. Luka Doncic, 45 points, 11 rebounds, 14 assists in the win for the Lakers, who improved to 19-7. The Jazz dropped to 10-16, which means the Utah Jazz are now just 2 games back of the Warriors. Oh my God. Just a game back in the loss column. What is going on here, man? 13 and 15 is awful. I'm having a hard time grasping that. In the final and overtime, the Portland Trailblazers, 134-133 winners over the Sacramento Kings. Denny Avdia, 35 points in the win. DeMar DeRozan, 33 points in the loss. The Sacramento Kings dropping to 6-21. The Portland Trailblazers improving to 11-16. And the Trailblazers now just a game and a half behind the Golden State Warriors. Just one back in the loss column. Oh my God. That was a reality check. I did not know the standings were that grim for your Golden State Warriors. So there you are. All right. Thanks, everybody. I got to make a phone call. Doubt that other person's going to pick up because this world's full of just straight up cowards who lack integrity. Integrity. I always love that about South Park. Randy Marsh's farm. Can never have enough integrity in this world. All right, folks. Thank you very much. As always, the results sucked. Tomorrow, happy hour. Armando Laura joins me. So let's have some fun. And we'll be back soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.